Programs regularly scheduled will not be seen in order to bring you this NBC Sports Special.
Miami's Don Shula has established himself as the NFL's most successful active coach. His ability to recognize and coach talent such as Paul Warfield brought him back-to-back Super Bowl victories. Shula's 1972 undefeated club, led by the running of Larry Zonka and Jim Kick, is still considered by many to be the best ever. But the glories of the past have faded to the reality of the present. The last 3 seasons, Miami has ranked near the bottom of the league in team defense. In last year's final game versus Pittsburgh, Louis Lips scored from 39 yards out untouched. And unless the defense improves, there will be even more pressure on perennial All-Pro quarterback Dan Marino, who last year accounted for 79% of the offense. Washington's head coach Joe Gibbs is on the fast track to success. In just 8 seasons, he's already won 2 Super Bowls, utilizing his ability to harness the odd talent. But now he faces the prospect of a season without quarterback Doug Williams. So 2 of the NFL's most respected and successful leaders continue their drive to the regular season, facing new challenges and goals. From our nation's capital, it's the NFL on NBC. It's the Miami Dolphins and the Washington Redskins. A 77-degree hot and humid night in our nation's capital. Capacity crowd 55,000 on hand at RFK for the Redskins' first 1989 appearance before the home crowd. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with Bob Trumpy, and we welcome you to NBC's presentation in prime time of football, preseason style. And I am delighted to be working once again along with the one-time Cincinnati Bengal All-Pro tight end. He will be with us here later. However, we do have Bob, and on the subject of both coaches, Joe Gibbs and Don Shula, there are many unanswered questions. Now, Doug Williams, during the course of the offseason, injured his lower back while working out on the treadmill, did not take any snaps at all during the course of preseason, and underwent back surgery this morning. The word is he'll be out some 8 to 10 weeks, perhaps more. So quarterback, a major concern for the Redskins.
Yeah, Marv, if there is a plus in that injury, the fact that Doug Williams did not participate in training camp at all helps, because Mark Rypien and Stan Humphries took all of the repetitions in training camp. Now, between these 2 young quarterbacks, they have a grand total of 9 games played, and Rypien is the only one of the 2 that started. He started 6 last year because of injuries to Doug Williams. The head coach Joe Gibbs told us in Carlisle, Pennsylvania yesterday, more change on this team than at any time in his career. So he's got a lot of question marks. New running back, a new defensive tackle they got to find, and these young quarterbacks.
And the same is true of the Miami Dolphins. A host of Dolphins not even with the team tonight.
Yeah, you've got 2 Pro Bowl players holding out, Clayton and Offerdahl. And, of course, Sammy Smith, their #1 draft choice. Don Shula was really expecting a lot of great things from Sammy Smith this year. He was going to walk in and be the starting running back. But unfortunately, Sammy Smith was an eye back at Florida State. And when you have an offense like Miami has with Dan Marino, you need to learn the split back, the blitz pickup, the audibles. There are some people in the organization that think if Sammy Smith comes in tomorrow, he's still not going to be able to contribute to this team until late in the season, Marv.
And we will see quite a bit of Dan Marino for the first time during preseason. He will play the entire half and may also be in there for a series of 2 in the 3rd quarter.
Frankly, Don Shula needs a lift for his football team. They've not looked good when the 2nd unit's been in there. So he wants Dan Marino to get out there and give that feeling of confidence to the offense and to the football team. First 2 games, they've not been able to really sustain anything past that opening drive and the starting players. So Marino will be in the game a lot tonight and into the 3rd quarter.
And Miami has won the toss. They will receive. The Dolphins 0-2 in preseason, losing to Chicago, losing to Houston, while Washington at 2-1. They beat Buffalo and Pittsburgh, did not have a good one against the Minnesota Vikings this past Monday night. It is Chip Lohmiller with the kickoff as we get underway. Troy Stratford on the return. And a look at the Dolphins offensive line: Giesler, Foster, Dellenbach, Galbraith, and Lee. Dan Marino starting at quarterback, Stratford and Davenport on the running backs, and the receivers Duper and Banks along with the tight end Edmonds, and in third down situations you'll see Jim Jensen and the rookie from Miami, the free agent Andre Brown. So first down at the 27 for Miami. And Marino to put it up on first down.
That ball intended for Banks, not even close.
And defensively, Charles Mann, the rookie Tracy Rocker, replacing Curtis Maxey, who was out with an ankle sprain. And there you see the linebackers Caldwell, Okowicz, Wilber Marshall playing with an injured knee, and the secondary of Davis, Walton, Bowles, and Green. It is a 2nd and 10 at the 27. And Marino has played only 4 series in preseason. Banks in motion. And that's Stratford. Reaching out to the 34-yard line, Troy Stratford. Stopped by Alvin Walton.
Marv, one of the things that Don Shula is going to try diligently tonight is to be more patient with the running game. That first down pass incomplete to Freddie Banks, and then they come back and run it. That's a nice 9-yard pickup. But Shula this year calling the plays. John Sandusky standing there next to him. Tony Nathan in the hat. And they do want to emphasize the run to put more balance in their offense.
Marino looking at a 3rd down and 2 at the 35. We are just underway at RFK in Washington. Again, Stratford could not get outside. Number 58, Wilber Marshall, made the stop.
Great play by Wilber Marshall. First free agent since 1977 to change teams. Criticized last season as not really getting a lot done for Washington. But frankly, in the Washington Redskin defense, it is difficult. There you see Roy Foster, 61, trying to pull and make the block on Marshall. Marshall fights him off and makes the tackle. A loss of about 3. Roby into punt.
Reggie Roby has not punted much during the preseason. Joe Howard, 2nd-year player from Notre Dame, is back. Howard to the 20. Joe Howard, who grew up right outside of Washington, stopped down the play, a 52-yard punt by Roby. And here are the Skins to the offense for the first time. Still an outstanding offensive line. Lachey, Grimm, Bostic, May, and Jacoby. The quarterback is Mark Rippon, 6th-round draft pick back in 1986. And you're looking at the 3 receivers. Now, when they go to the H-back, we'll see Terry Orr, and the Redskins and the Dolphins will go with starters throughout a good portion of this first half. First down at the 25 for Washington. And this is Gerald Riggs. Gerald Riggs bothered by a strained hamstring, a question mark for tonight, but in there Dave Aarons made the stop. TJ Turner, Brian Soche, Jackie Klein up front. Big surprise of the Dolphin camp, Greg Clark, inside linebacker in his 2nd season from Arizona State. And the secondary, a lot of good words on the free safety Louis Oliver, who is a rookie from Florida, Miami's 2nd pick on the 1st round. 2nd down and 5, Monk in motion. And Riggs was pushed back. The assault led by Jackie Klein from the right defensive end.
Marv, that was the counter series that Washington has made so famous. Klein does an excellent job of running behind the pulling guard. One thing that Riggs is going to have to learn, in Atlanta, it was pretty much a straight-ahead running game. Here, they like the counter. You have to be a passenger on the Voyager 2 not to know about the counter offensive series of the Washington Redskins. They run it to death, and they kill people with it.
It is a 3rd down and 2. Washington from the 33. And Rippon throws the middle, has the first down, combining with Art Monk. Pickup of 10 on the play.
Monk is an excellent receiver, had his share of 1,000-yard seasons. Now watch behind the defense. You'll see Monk right there at the left. It appears he has Langford as the man in coverage, and Monk just beats him. just takes the inside route. That's one good thing for Mark Rypien. He's young. He's not real experienced, but this is a very, very basic passing game. Basically, all he's got to do is turn around and hand it to Riggs.
Play action, and Rypien has Clark. Another first down. Gary Clark, who caught 59 balls last season, picked up 15, stopped by the strong safety Jarvis Williams.
Judson in coverage, 49. You can see Clark's foot speed. Judson never has a chance. Rather unusual to see the Miami cornerbacks right up there at the line of scrimmage and bump and run.
And the Redskins, first down now at the Miami 41-yard line. 4.5 gone by. No score in the first quarter. Here's Riggs. Gerald Riggs, 8-year man from Arizona State. Standout career with the Atlanta Falcons, and then was acquired by the Redskins on draft day. Brian Soche made the stop on Riggs. 3 carries, 11 yards for Riggs. Picked up 2, second down and 8.
He's got a slightly pulled hamstring, so he really hasn't gotten the reps in the last 10 days or 2 weeks. And this is the guy. He's John Riggins. He's George Rogers. And the next in line is Gerald Riggs.
That was Monk, 81, in motion. Again, good protection. And Monk on a completion.
Oh, this is a great job by Mark Rypien. This is a really good job. Shows that he's beginning to know what the offense is, because you saw him kind of hop step up into the pocket. Now there's good coverage here by Miami. You see the motion by Monk. He drops straight back. Now young quarterbacks have a tendency to put it under their arm and run. Now watch him hop up there. See, he stays with the pattern, and Monk on the sideline is out there. He picks up about 5 or 6 yards and makes it 3rd and short. That's a great learning play for Mark Rypien.
It is a 3rd down and 1 at the 32. Down and more, picked up by Riggs. He went for 12 off that big hole.
Marv, it's been stated many times, but I think it's worth repeating that this offensive line of the Washington Redskins may be the best offensive line at run blocking there is. You see Bostic, you see May, you see all the big guys up there, and they go straight ahead. Good push up front, and then Riggs picks the right spot. He runs with his eyes. He does not run with instinct. You run to the spot where there's the opening. 12-yard pickup.
First down at the Miami 20. And again, Riggs. So Gerald Riggs getting much activity here in the early going. Hugh Green from the outside linebacker position to make the tackle.
Made an interesting comment to us yesterday up in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. He says, I'm not going to outrun many, but I'll drag a few with me. And he has throughout his career.
He is second only to Eric Dickerson in production over the last 5 years. 2nd down and 5 at the 15. Riggs has gone for 28 yards on 5 carries. Peels off. And again, it is Riggs. And has the first down inside the 10.
Let's turn it over on the other side. Miami Dolphin defense has really given up an awful lot of yards, both running and passing, over the last 6 years. The present defensive coordinator, Tom Olivadotti, would like to keep opponents to under 3.9 yards per carry. You can see it's about 4 or 5 yards before a Dolphin is there to make any contact. Clark 50 finally on the stop, but in this initial drive, Olivadotti's goals are not being met by that defense.
It's a 1st and goal after 9. This is Riggs to the outside and for the touchdown. Impressive home debut for one of the newest Redskins, Gerald Riggs.
Here's what Washington has gotten to Super Bowls with. You see excellent blocking up front. They kick back, they try to get the angles on everybody, and then they got the puller, and Riggs follows it right up through there.
Here's Lohmiller. And plays 75 yards. And it was Gerald Riggs leading the way. 7 carries, 42 yards, plus the score. The Redskins with a 7-0 lead on the Dolphins.
Retailers like me are doing our part to help fight muscular dystrophy. And you can too. With every Budweiser or Bud Light you buy through Labor Day, you'll help make a contribution. So come on, join the team.
For the love and for the dream, for the kids, join the team.
Here's the leader in compact trucks, Ford Ranger, with big advantages that Chevy and Toyota don't have.
Go with the leader.
Advantages like 4-wheel drive at the touch of a button. Only Ranger 4x4 has it. Standard.
Go with the leader.
And Ranger beats Chevy S10 in standard horsepower and torque. It's today's best-selling compact truck.
Go with the leader. Ford trucks.
See your dealer now for low financing or special savings during the official Ford clearance.
800 Service is a door through which your customers can come to buy your products and services. Without AT&T 800 Service, it's like closing the door on them. It's just like hanging a sign out to lunch. AT&T provides the quickest call setup time in the business today and also the fewest number of block calls. So with AT&T's 800 Service, you get more calls, more sales. If you call us now, we'll waive the installation charge. It's as simple as that.
One-time Atlanta Falcon Gerald Riggs, who certainly led the way during that scoring drive, a 7-0 Redskin lead. And the kickoff, a little confusion there as Lorenzo Hampton makes his way to the 30-yard line. Hampton and Logan came together, and Hampton run out of bounds.
All right, let's go back to this touchdown play. Watch the way the offense caves everything down on the strong side. And then you got these two huge pullers, Grimm, Lachey, and you got the running back that kicks right up through here. This is the thing that has made the Washington Redskins such a powerhouse football team at the line of scrimmage. Miami actually does a pretty good job of defending this. Good instinctive run again by Gerald Riggs. Gets it in the end zone for the first score.
So the Dolphins, off the 21-yard return by Hampton, start out at the 30. That is Banks in motion. Reno to the ground and a big hole. Troy Stratford is stopped by the left defensive tackle, Darrell Grant. Troy Stratford in his 3rd year out of Boston College, twisted an ankle in training camp last year, never really recovered. Disappointing season after the terrific rookie year.
Yeah, and then of course the Dolphins begin to lose with regularity, and they went right back to what they do best, and that's throw it. And the running game was basically just out to lunch.
2nd down and 4. And Marino picks up the first down, combining with Tom Brown. Don Shula says he wants to get a long look at Brown, a first-year player from Pittsburgh. 15-yard hookup. Okowicz and Caldwell on the stop.
There's no question that running backs that can catch the ball are an absolute premium to the Miami Dolphins. Jim Jensen, going back a lot of years, you had Jim Kick. He likes to throw the ball to the backside of the backfield. Brown has excellent hands.
First down at midfield. Redskins 7, Dolphins nothing. 6 minutes to go in this first quarter. Reno with the time and lays it deep. Intended for Banks, and it is intercepted. The free safety, Todd Bowles.
Great coverage by Brian Davis. Man-on-man coverage with Freddie Banks. Brian Davis last year or last week, 3 interceptions. 34 is Davis. He does not buy the out move. This is great athletic ability. Goes up there, keeps the ball alive, bowls the free safety, catches it. Davis gets a block. It's a 26-yard return. That's got to make Joe Gibbs feel very good, because last year the turnover rate, they had the worst turnover rate in the NFL. They couldn't get any takeaways either. So Bowles comes up with the first turnover of the night.
Brian Davis came off a 3-interception game against the Vikings on Monday night. First down at the 30, and it is back to the ground and a big hole. Jamie Morris stopped by the strong safety. Jarvis Williams with help from free safety Louis Oliver. He went for 16.
Unfortunately, in a lot of games the Redskins play, their opponents are absolutely mismatched at the line of scrimmage. This, they run a little double and rub with the center and guard. An excellent lead block up front, 21 by Ernest Biner, playing the fullback, and Jamie Morris gets the ball. Nice pickup.
First down at the 45. Monk in motion. Rippon swings it. Morris stopped back behind the line. Loss on the play.
Rick Graff on the tackle. Good job of diagnosing that screen out there. This Redskin offense has so many weapons, Marv. They got a 1,000-yard rusher in Riggs. They've got 3,000-yard receivers in Sanders, Clark, and Monk. And they got those big hogs up front. Boy, they can go a lot of different places to hurt you offensively.
Talking about an offensive line weighing in at 290, 275, 270, 295, 310 for Jacoby at last look. Second down, 14 from the 41. And Rippon guns it down the middle, nearly picked off, intended for Clark.
Should have been caught.
And Oliver had a shot at her.
Louis Oliver, the free safety, going to be a big impact player. This ball should be caught. This is right there. Rippon has a very strong arm.
Spent 2 seasons on injured reserve before getting an opportunity to play when Doug Williams was sidelined last year with an appendectomy, although there are some who feel that he was hidden on IR.
What do you mean?
Stashed?
Red-shirted?
Red-shirted?
Yes. Well, it's paying off for the Redskins, whatever they did.
Third and 14 from the 41. 4:20 to go. First quarter. And Rippon is picked off. It was intended for Monk, but Langford was right there. And Rippon is hearing some boos from the crowd.
Now, one thing that Mark Rippon has to learn here is the quarterback with the Washington Redskins with all these weapons can't make the mistake. You see Monk once again right on the left-hand side of your screen. Good bump by Langford, but then he's able to get his head turned around. Ball should not have been thrown. No question it should not have been thrown. That's a mistake Rippon should not make ever again.
With its 24-valve V6 engine, double overhead cams, and 220 horsepower, the Ford Taurus SHO isn't for everyone. In fact, only a select number will experience this sport interior and performance suspension. Ford Taurus SHO. Power in the hands of a fortunate few.
See your dealer now for low financing or special savings during the official Ford clearance.
Introducing the Adidas Torsion basketball shoe. Moves the way your foot moves. Created with one thing in mind. Winning. If you really want it, you can. Adidas Torsion.
There's a cool breeze blowing down from Canada. It's blowing smoother, crisper. Molson, the imported beer with the taste closer to home. Molson, it's a breeze going down.
Road Handler Treadlocks. Test them for 1,000 miles. If you don't agree they're the toughest tires you've ever owned, Sears will buy them back. Great low prices every day. Road Handler Tough. That's your money's worth and a whole lot more.
This NBC Sports preseason football special is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Levi's 505 and 506 jeans. And by AT&T, the right choice.
Marv Albert with Bob Trumpy from RFK in Washington. Off the interception by Paul Langford. Miami first down at the 35, and Hampton able to shake loose. Closes in on the first down marker. Penalty flag has been thrown. Brian Davis made the stop. 7-0. Redskins lead the Dolphins. Referee is Gordon McCarter.
That's a hold against Miami, Marv. So you get a 10-yard run, and it's going to be 2nd and 20.
Holding, number 36, offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
And that is the running back out of Pittsburgh, Tom Brown, called for the hold.
He was the lead blocker for Lorenzo Hampton there. It's not going to be 1st and 20. It's going to be 1st and about 12. But they get a good run, and then they come up with a mistake.
But not bad. We went over 10 minutes without a flag toss. The ball back at the 32. And Marino intending for Brown. And another penalty marker is thrown.
Threw it in the direction of the tight end and the man in coverage on him. Todd Bowles, 23, I believe. Holding, yes. May have been Neil Oklowitz, too, the middle linebacker. It's one of the two. Bowles.
Holding, number 58, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Or one of the three. You mentioned Wilber Marshall.
Would you buy Wilber Marshall? He was holding the tight end, Farrell Edmonds, who was going down the middle. So we exchanged penalties, and it's 1st and 10.
On the subject of Wilber Marshall, Joe Gibbs hoping that he emerges as more of an impact player. They like to see a bit more from him.
Well, Richie Pettibone's defensive system is not the easiest one to pick up on. This is his 2nd season. I'm sure he will have an impact this year.
86 Banks in motion. It is a 1st and 10 from the 37. And Hampton is hauled down. Tracy Rocker, the rookie from Auburn, winner of the Outland Trophy, making the stop.
And Darrell Grant. Of course, Redskins must replace Dave Butts. Here for 15 years. Rocker is a candidate. Also a young man named Curtis Maxey is a candidate. He'll not play tonight, has a sprained ankle. But that's a big question mark for this defense.
2nd and 9 at the 38. Coming up on 3 minutes to go in this first quarter. Marino off the roll. And completes for the first down and more. And the fumble occurring after the whistle. Look out as Tom Brown went 26 yards on the reception.
I think that was Freddie Banks on the catch.
Right, Freddie Banks, I should say, on the catch. And then the flare-up.
Very interesting play by Miami. I think we actually saw Dan Marino roll out.
Yes. Well, the officials are sorting it out. We mentioned earlier that Dan Marino accounts for about 79% of the offense.
After the play, personal foul, face mask, number 58 on the offense. Late hit, 27 defense, penalties nullified. First down, good.
Key phrase there, after the play. So the gain stands. This is a rollout, something that Miami does not like to do very often with Dan Marino. Banks does a good job of getting the ball upfield, hangs on to it. And then the extracurricular activities begin. Wilber Marshall, Lorenzo Hampton, face mask, shove, push. You know what would stop a lot of the fighting in the NFL? Take those face masks off. Nobody be throwing punches then.
It is a first down at the 37. Marino off the play action, going deep, and has Cooper. But he was
Davis in coverage. Duper runs a great out move. Davis buys it a little bit, but he's still able to get back there. Hands in the way. Duper makes a sensational catch. Watch him pump. No, he didn't pump. It was the move by Duper. There's Davis, 34. And he can't get his feet down. Watch Dexter Manley here, one of the game's great pass rushers. Inside, outside, he's working on John Giesler, 79. And he's there just as the ball is released. Dexter went through his first full camp for the Redskins, first time since 1985 this year.
Second down and 10. And this is Hampton with the stutter step. Nowhere to go. Marshall right there.
Well, this is the kind of impact player that a Wilber Marshall can be. That is an excellent open field tackle.
Dexter Manley now spending time learning Japanese. He has actually come full circle, Bob. Remarkable story. His plight came to the forefront several months back when he testified at a congressional hearing focusing on illiteracy in America. Dexter admitting, despite attending college, despite his verbal skills, certainly one of the better interviews in sports, can express himself, but he was attending classes for reading and writing, admitting that he is illiterate, and came to terms with the problem and solved it.
Blitz.
Third down 10, and it's broken up.
Alvin Walton on the coverage.
Pass intended for Troy Stratford. Walton from the strong safety position. Redskins leading tackler of the last 2 years. Able to get a piece of it. So Marino 3 for 7. 41 yards. 1 interception. And here is Roby as the Dolphins go into punt formation, and Joe Howard is back once again. There he is at the 10. Minute and a half left. First quarter, Washington 7 and Miami nothing. Howard let it go fly.
That's a touchback. Bounced in the end zone.
Yeah, it took the hit just inside the end zone, so they'll bring it out when we come back.
Here's the leader in compact trucks, Ford Ranger, with big advantages that Chevy and Toyota don't have.
Go with the leader.
Advantages like four-wheel drive at the touch of a button. Only Ranger 4x4 has it. Standard.
Go with the leader.
And Ranger beats Chevy S10 in standard horsepower and torque. It's today's best-selling compact truck.
Go with the leader. Ford trucks.
See your dealer now for low financing or special savings during the official Ford clearance.
There's a cool breeze blowing down from Canada. It's blowing smoother, crisper. Molson, the imported beer with a taste closer to home. Molson, it's a breeze going down.
Quaker State engines don't know when to quit.
Quaker State exceeds every single car maker's U.S. requirements for maximum engine protection.
Quaker State engines don't know when to quit because Quaker State oil doesn't know when to quit. The big Q stands for quality.
Before you buy brand name sneakers, think about this. What good is spending a fortune on sneakers if you have nothing left over to play with?
Buddy McGirt, one of the best fighters pound for pound in boxing today. He's a big puncher with a no-frills, high-pressure fighting style. His best is yet to come, and he's ready to take on the welterweight division. McGirt battles Gary Kid Jacobs live on NBC Sports World.
That stat not exactly what the Dolphins defensive coordinator Tom Olivedani was searching for.
Yeah, he wants 3.9 or less. He did a statistical study in the offseason, and playoff teams averaged allowing 3.9 yards per carry or less. 7-1 in that opening drive by the Redskins. Not even close.
Led by Gerald Riggs. Washington now first down at the 20. Back to Finer and Morris ripping to the air. Larry Clark has the first down and some more. He went 17 on the reception.
Now, Marv, this is the genius of a Joe Gibb. Last pass that Rippon throws, it's an interception. Next drive, he comes out. What's he do? A nice little hitch pass. Very safe, high percentage completion. I think Gibbs realized that one of the things he must do is bolster the confidence of Mark Rippon. He is their quarterback for the season. You got to love a guy that does that for a kid like Mark Rippon.
Mark left and Monk right. Finer in motion. And Jamie Morris, the ball carrier, stopped by the nose tackle Brian Sauché with 30 seconds remaining in this first quarter.
Mark Rippon gives an awful lot of credit to Jerry Rome. When Mark was on the injured reserve list, Rome at 50 years old was his receiver. They worked on another field away from the football team all season long. Says he helped his delivery, his confidence, and his starting and succeeding for the Redskins is a great credit to Jerry Rome.
And this first quarter winding down, Redskins with a 7-0 lead on the Dolphins.
Hey, you talk about playground legends, you gotta bring up a guy named Lamar Mundane. I seen him just rain jump shots on people. 4, 5, 6 shots in a row. People just started calling me Money. Because when he shot, it was money in the bank. He come down and shoot a 15-footer, everybody on the side be hollering, lay up. Slam dunks are tough. But when a 35-footer come raining out the sky, it'll wire you up.
When the new legends are made, they'll be wearing Reeboks. There's a cool breeze blowing down from Canada. It's blowing smoother, crisper. Molson, the imported beer with the taste closer to home. Molson, it's a breeze going down.
My athlete's foot kept flaring up. Put it out, it just flare up again. Then my doctor told me about Tinactin. It cures recovering athlete's foot. Use it regularly. It'll keep the fire from coming back.
Tinactin puts the fire out for good.
You know, there are a lot of places where you can look for an auto part. But here is where you'll find it. Napa. We've got your part. In fact, we have more than 125,000 parts available. Napa has parts for imports and other hard-to-find parts, and at the right prices. So don't waste time looking anyplace else. Come to Napa first. We've got your part.
Well, Don Shula said he would like to develop more of a running game. They've actually had no running game during preseason, and they have certainly made the effort thus far tonight.
Yeah, they've got 7 pass attempts and 4 runs, and one of those nullified by a penalty. So, but the problem is that opening drive by the Washington Redskins, they go up 7-0. The tendency is, as a coach, to fall back on what you do best, and that's throw the football. So they do have to continue running the football to establish something for the regular season. At some point, you want to evaluate players, but you want to win, but you also want to try to fix things that are wrong with your football team. What's wrong with this football team is that they don't run well.
And the other problem that he'd like to fix is the defense, but there are some key people sitting it out at this point. Second quarter is underway. Jamie Morris out to the 45-yard line. Redskins with a 7-0 lead, and the story in the first quarter, Gerald Riggs, 7 carries, 42 yards. Redskins with a total of 106 yards, 61 on the ground.
And of course, that's 7.1 yards per carry by the Redskins in that first quarter. They'll do nothing but run it for the rest of the night.
Quarterback Mark Rippon in his 3rd season out of Washington State. 83 Sanders in motion. This is Sanders on the reception. So another Redskin first down. Right corner, William Judson able to bump him out.
Marv, that was a zone defense by the Dolphins. You can watch everybody drop back. 26 in your picture is Jarvis Williams. See him drop back. Sanders just turns a little circle route over the middle. Clark misses a tackle. And he gets outside. Graff tries to make the tackle, but again, great athletic skills at the skill position for the Washington Redskins. Sanders, look at the numbers from last year. Absolutely remarkable athlete.
First down play, and again it is Sanders getting inside the 45. Langford, the left cornerback, making the stop. Ricky Sanders, superb athlete, can stay under control even going at high speed, although he just picked that one off in the flat. That's Langford in his 8th season out of Penn State, bothered by a knee sprain most of last year.
These corners for Miami generally play very deep, sometimes as much as 9 yards deep. Watch, you can see Langford move out of the picture on the top of the screen.
2nd down and 4. And the acceleration of Jamie Morris picks up another Redskin first down. Jamie Morris, the younger brother of Joe Morris of the Giants, leading the club in rushing here in the preseason.
And you see Don Shula trying to exhort this defense as best he possibly can. He's wondering what can we do to fix this? You know, what are we going to do to stop this? And this has happened in the 2 previous preseason games too, Mark.
It's not been a pleasant preseason for Don Shula and the Dolphins. Redskins first down at the 37. Ernest Biner heading to the 30-yard line. Rick Graff made the tackle. There's Biner. Spent 5 years with the Cleveland Browns, called the heart and soul of the Browns offense. Did have some fumble problems while with Cleveland, and fumbled one Monday night.
Very unique player for the Redskins. Can run, can block, and can catch. First time Joe Gibbs has had a back that can do all 3.
It has been alternating between the H-back and the running back position. 2nd down and 3. Morris finding the hole for a first down. And the Redskins
having their way with the Dolphins.
Yes, working their way in the air and on the ground. Rippon is 8 for 10, 64 yards.
One of the ways you beat Miami is you keep that gentleman on the sideline. And the first drive that Redskins put together, long sustained drive, lots of running. And as long as you can keep Marino on the sideline, you got a great chance to beat Miami. Tonight so far in the first quarter and a half, Redskins doing a great job of that.
First down at the Miami 25. And again, it is Morris.
Great tackle. Great tackle. Louis Oliver.
Louis Oliver, the rookie from the University of Florida, has made mistakes in the preseason, but the coaches say you can see the ability is there. He has missed some tackles, but he will be a good one.
The key here for Louis Oliver is he goes inside out. See that? He cuts away the cutback for Morris, and he goes inside out, and he goes through the running back. He wanted to grow up and be a Dolphin, but he wanted to play like Mercury Morris. He didn't want to be a free safety.
So he wanted to be a running back, and Mercury was his hero. 2nd down and 6 at the 21. Redskins 7, Dolphins nothing. Rippon pegs it. He has Biner for a first down. Jarvis Williams, the strong safety, on the stop of Ernest Biner.
Once again, you can see how deep the cornerback was on that play, Marv. That time it was the strong safety, Jarvis Williams, and Biner, the running back out there. It was easy. Look at the depth. Look at the depth. He runs a simple slant pattern, and Jarvis Williams is sitting back there. Well, you'll take those all day long.
Redskins at the doorstep. First down at the 11. 6 minutes gone by, 2nd quarter. And here is Morris off the sweep, getting inside the 10. Williams on the tackle of Jamie Morris.
Tom is trying. He's trying to come up with anything he possibly can to help this defense. 84 yards rushing, and it's certainly more than 3.9 yards per carry. That too often in the last 4 or 5 years has been the case for teams that Miami play. They're averaging now 6 yards per carry.
And Rippon looking at a 2nd and 7. Ball at the 8. And again to the ground for Morris. He had the hole. Morris close to the first down. The Redskins seem to think he picked it up.
Here again, we've got that counter series. They cave him down. These two big guys pull, and it's easy pickings for Morris up through there. Every team in the NFL that Washington, they know what they're going to do. They can't seem to stop it. Interesting that Joe Gibbs stated he thought Jim Lachey was the best pulling tackle he had ever seen in his life.
Pretty fair statement.
Yeah.
Jim Lachey was acquired from the Raiders last September in the deal for Jay Schrader, and it caused a couple of shuffles on that offensive line.
But they've all worked. Last year, the offensive line was hurt. This kid is amazing. What an athlete. Great feet for his size. I don't understand how this kid is a first-round draft choice to San Diego, is traded for nothing, and then is traded from the Raiders to Washington and makes this team.
Short of the first down, it is a 3rd and inches. And again to the ground, and let's see, he is in. Willard Reeves, with his first carry of the game, has scored.
Well, this is some meat coming at you. They got everybody up there at the line of scrimmage, but it really doesn't help. Clark misses the tackle, but Reeves, a kid out of Canada, he's 30 years old, but has a great deal of experience.
He had some strong seasons in the Canadian Football League. He's been bothered by a pulled hamstring here in preseason. Lohmiller putting it right through. Willard Reeves, a first-year NFL player out of northern Arizona, has given the Redskins a 14-0 lead.
If you don't want to slow down on your way home, it's the right beer now. If you think having fun means jumping in with both feet, it's the right beer now. You realize that in some sports, you can't call a timeout. So call for the silver bullet, the one that won't slow you down. Coors Light. Yeah, it's the right beer now.
I've made up my mind. I'm gonna do it. Why shouldn't I? I'm the one who has to look at myself in the mirror every morning. So before I lose another hair, I'm going to the doctor. I know doctors have treatment programs that are proven to work. More guys are trying them every day. I'm not bad now, but I wouldn't mind looking better.
Your doctor can really do something about hair loss. So see your doctor or call this toll-free number.
Hello?
Excuse me. Are those Bugle Boy jeans that you're wearing?
Why, yes. They are Bugle Boy jeans.
Thank you.
Next Friday, the Super Bowl champion San Francisco 49ers battle the hard-nosed Seattle Seahawks.
NBC football. It's a whole new ball game.
A beautiful night in our nation's capital. Marv Albert with Bob Trumpy from RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C.
There's the defensive coordinator, Tom Olivadotti. He's got the chalkboard out. He's trying to figure some way to stop this awesome running game of the Redskins.
Washington with a 14-0 lead. And it is Mark Logan for Miami on the return. Logan, a three-year man from Kentucky. Put down by Martin Mayhew. Well, the American League East race continues to heat up, or as some have labeled it, the American League East, or least, I should say, with the Toronto game and a half behind, and the Orioles and Yankees will go at each other tomorrow here on NBC. Most of you will see that game. Some of you will see the Brewers and the Blue Jays, starting with the pregame show at 2 o'clock Eastern time. First down at the 32. Oh. And that ball should have been caught. Brian Davis on the coverage of Fred Banks.
So far, the drives by Washington, very impressive. They total 27 plays, 2 touchdowns, a lot of time of possession. which is exactly what Miami doesn't want. Dolphins, nothing offensively yet. 11 plays.
And Marino only 3 for 8, 41 yards. Second down and 10 at the 32. Banks in motion. Inside handoff. Stratford out to the 40-yard line. Charles Mann up from his left defensive end position.
Brown, stop. Brown with a nice block out in front of Troy Stratford, too. Excellent job of blocking. Dolphins doing, they're sticking with it. I admire Don Shula for doing this. Down 14-0. Winning this game is less important than at least establishing the fact that we are going to make an attempt to run the game. Run the ball this game. Don't you have a fight on Sunday?
Yes. How perfectly timed that was.
He's not one of them, right?
Gordon McGirt, Jacobs, Sports World starting at 4:30. And Stratford has the first down. Clarence Vaughn up from his safety position to make the stop. So the Dolphins have a first down. They're trailing 14-0 halfway through the second quarter.
This is, I would say, a key drive for the Miami Dolphins. Down 14-0. They got the ball in relatively good field position here. Shula calling the plays this year. Last year was David Shula. Now it's on Dad's shoulders to call the right plays.
86, Banks again in motion. And again to the ground. Stratford is stopped, and the Dolphins continue to attempt to establish a running game. We mentioned at the start the #1 draft pick Sammy Smith not with the club, and as you pointed out, Don Shula feels that Smith in need of extensive work when he finally does sign, because he is an eye back and Marino not an eye quarterback, so Smith would have much to learn. Second and 10 at the 46. It is completed to Mark Duper off the sideline pattern. Brian Davis on the coverage, picked up 9 on the play. So it is short of the first down. Coming up at halftime, Bob Costas with an NFL preseason update featuring late developments on where the Raiders will find themselves playing in the near future. We can tell you this: it appears the Rams could emerge as Los Angeles' only NFL team. Third down and 1.
Nice fake. He's open.
Beautiful fake by Marino, and he has the first down and more with the tight end Bruce Hardy. Vaughn on the tackle.
Marv, there seems to be a new trend in the NFL where it's a little more than play pass. This is run pass. You see all these guys firing up in here. Everybody's up in there. This is Hardy. Marino does a good job of putting the ball on the hip. It fools the Washington defense, and it's an easy completion to Hardy out at the top of the screen. Not difficult at all. Defensive man falls down. Nice pickup. Good buried offense here run by Miami.
And the Dolphins first down at the 30. And again Marino completes to Duper. Darrell Green in the right corner made the stop.
Another trend in the NFL, Marv, is these option routes where the quarterback looks at the receiver, watches him, sees what he's going to do. This is a little delay outside, and there's not actually, it's pretty good coverage by Darrell Green, but Duper is able to get right there. Marino's able to fire it in there for about a 7 or 8 yard completion.
And Marino has hit on 3 in a row now, 6 for 11, 71 yards. Second down 4 at the Redskin 24. Stratford picking up the first down. Barry Wilburn making the stop on the play.
Marv, again, a great block by Brown. The lead blocker, Tom Brown, does a great job. You see him right behind Marino's helmet. This is a straight ahead blocking by the Miami Dolphins, and watch Tom Brown gets on Darrell Grant, cleans things out, also gets a hit on Wilbur Marshall. Stratford picks up a first down. That'll help. This kid will make the team if he continues to do that tonight.
And the Dolphins first down at the 15. Off the pump fake. Banks.
No
and
catch.
Could not hold on.
Whoa, wait a minute. I thought when he hit the ground that ball came loose. Now, unfortunately, the replay has no jurisdiction over this. He turns Davis around. Watch what happens. I think that's a catch, Marv. I really do. But the replay cannot overrule that.
And it is ruled incomplete. Fred Banks trying to hold on. There's Brian Davis, the 3-year man out of Nebraska, who has taken over at left cornerback. Barry Wilburn moving to the free safety position.
That's one he got away from him. That should have been a touchdown.
10th play of the drive.
Wait a minute.
So the Dolphins call for time. And we'll be back here at RFK in a moment.
This way, Mr. Starr.
Oh, thank you.
Life with me dad's a real scream. He needs a star vehicle like my all-new 1990 Cutlass Supreme. It's a fab four-door. With a hot engine that really screams.
Drop in again, Mr. Starr.
Hello, Daddy.
This is not your father's Oldsmobile.
This is the new generation of old.
If you feel that having a big waist is, well, a big waist.
It's the right beer now.
If you think water that comes from the Rockies is better than water that comes from faucets.
It's the right beer now.
When you feel tonight's game is headed for extra innings, it's time for the Silver Bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
Coors Light. Yeah, it's the right beer now.
This NBC Sports preseason football special is sponsored by Coors Light. There's no slowing down with a Silver Bullet, the best light beer for a good long time. By the new generation of Oldsmobile. Step into the future now at your Oldsmobile dealer. And by the Upjohn Company. If you're concerned about hair loss, see your doctor.
Welcome back to Washington with 3:45 remaining in this first half, and the crowd urging the Redskin defense on. Redskins 14, Dolphins nothing.
Wow, this is a great spot for Farrell Edmonds, the tight end.
2nd and 10 for Miami at the Washington 15. And Marino swings it. Incomplete. Stratford could not hold on. Troy Stratford could not hang on, and it is ruled incomplete, setting a 3rd down and 10 at the 15.
Actually, this is a pick play inside. They're trying to get Stratford out there by himself. Everything's there. Just took his eye off of it. Wanted to turn upfield a little too quickly to make that first move.
And this, the next to last preseason game for both the Dolphins and Redskins. Both clubs are going with starters for the first half, and this has been a long drive.
Here's the Crash Jensen set. They call it the gun. Here's Jensen.
And Marino drilling it right at the first down marker, combining with Stratford. Marcus Cook on the stop.
They're short. They did not make the first down. And it looks like they're going to go for it on 4th down. Hardy goes in. Edmonds goes in. Yeah, they're going to go for it. That formation, that gun formation, Stratford in the slot, Jensen is the running back. A couple of years ago, they were producing about 51, 52% of their third downs converted. Last year, it dropped way off. They were like 25th. I take it back, 19th in the league on third down conversions.
This is the 12th play of the drive. Throw. And he does. Touchdown. Able to complete it to Bruce Hardy, who comes up with his second catch on this drive.
Again, that great run action fake. Everybody fires into the line of scrimmage like it is a run. You see that? They have come with a safety blitz, and Hardy just sneaks through there, beats Darrell Green. Although you can't blame Green for that. That is a real good job of confusing the Washington defense for an easy touchdown.
Bruce Hardy, 11-year pro from Arizona State, spent most of last year on injured reserve. Now the try for the extra point. Juan Reveiz, who's been out with a sore thigh in a battle with the rookie Pete Stoyanovich, able to put it through. And the Dolphins cut into that Washington lead.
We never thought it could happen to us.
But here we are.
Hey, just like you, the Grady's never thought they'd ever win a sweepstakes.
But here we are.
Ready for full tilt summer fun. With windsurfers, dirt bikes, a Jeep, even a jet ski. Register to win at your favorite store where you see the extra gold Coors and Coors Light display.
It sure changed our lives.
I am a jet ski mama.
Stretch your summer fun. Enter the extra gold summer stretch sweepstakes.
We switched from Ford to Chevy.
Listen to the heartbeat of America.
We have to have equipment that will hold up to the job, and the Chevy doesn't. We're generally pulling something, and generally it's pretty heavy. We use them hard, and they stand up to it. And we do it all day long, and we don't worry about it. Now that's what we have to have in a truck out here to get the job done.
That's the day Chevy truck.
For a caulking material to stick tight, it has to stay flexible. And Dow Corning silicone sealant has twice the flex of conventional caulks. Dow Corning silicone. It stays put because it stays flexible.
For every man who wears Brute, there's a woman who loves what he smells like. Because there's something about Brute that's nice to be close to.
Honey, I was just thinking about you.
Brute. It smells like a man.
Buddy McGirt, one of the best fighters pound for pound in boxing today. He's a big puncher with a no-frills, high-pressure fighting style. His best is yet to come, and he's ready to take on the welterweight division. McGirt battles Gary Kid Jacobs live on NBC Sports World.
Here's the score by Miami, and here's Hardy. He fakes the double team with the offensive line. Everybody sells up in the line of scrimmage. Alvin Walton almost gets to Marino, but it's a good job of selling by the Miami offense. And Hardy looks right at Darrell Green. He's opening the end zone for the score.
Kickoff by Reveiz, carrying out of bounds. Reeves chasing it to the far side.
That's Gary Stevens on the left, the new quarterback coach from the University of Miami, Shula and Marino.
Tuesday is a cut-down day, a big day in the NFL, but Bob, Monday will be a big day for many players, with the National Football League announcing the names of the players who tested positive for steroids. This according to our sources here in Washington, and I'm told the Players Association will go to federal court on Monday morning as we check out the Redskins with this first down play at the 35-yard line. And this is Jamie Morris. Players Association will go to federal court Monday morning, we're told, to seek a temporary restraining order to prevent the NFL from following through to announce the list of players, and to prevent the NFL then from disciplining those players who tested positive for anabolic steroids during training camp. What is your reaction?
Well, they'll be treated just as recreational drug users. A 30-day suspension for the first time, and a year for this, or a season for the second time. I've heard percentages anywhere from 6% to 50%. I'd say somewhere in between labels the steroid use in the NFL, Morris.
It's a pretty big swing. We'll get back to that in a moment. 2nd and 6 coming up. 2-minute warning has been given. We'll be right back here in Washington.
Life's full of simple pleasures, like the comfort of Levi's jeans. Or had you forgotten?
If you think there's not a nickel's worth of difference between Chevy S10 and Ford Ranger, check Chevy's longer, wider box. Or Chevy's warranty, covering hundreds of non-powertrain parts. 2 years longer than Ford's. In fact, there's over 20,000 nickels difference. Because this Chevy costs over $1,000 less. Plus choose another 15,000 nickels cash back. And you can take that to the bank.
That's today's Chevy truck.
We never thought it could happen to us.
But here we are.
Hey, just like you, the Grady's never thought they'd ever win a sweepstakes.
But here we are.
Ready for full tilt summer fun. With windsurfers, dirt bikes, a Jeep, even a jet ski. Register to win at your favorite store where you see the extra gold Coors and Coors Light display.
It sure changed our lives.
I am a jet ski mama.
Stretch your summer fun. Enter the extra gold summer stretch sweepstakes.
Back to our discussion concerning the steroid testing. Any NFL player who would test positive for steroids would be suspended for 30 days and then subject to further testing. Now you say the estimate is somewhere between 6 and 50%.
Yeah.
That's a big area.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. I think a lot of kids come into the game with steroids, and I think they get 25th-hand advice as to how to mask them, and it doesn't work. I think there's some teams that are going to be worried about some players being suspended.
2nd and 6 as we resume. Randy Morris with a nice cut for the first down and additional yardage. Impressive first half for Morris. Lewis Oliver pushed him out. Morris went 19 yards.
Watch Rick Grapp here, 99. Just gets held up a little bit by the tight end. Great block on Jarvis Williams. Randy Morris picks up an easy 19 yards, and the running game for the Redskins is all right tonight.
Life's full of simple pleasures, like the comfort of Levi's jeans. Or had you forgotten?
If you like to be seen in all the right circles,
It's the right beer now.
if you think there's a certain quality to beer that comes from up here,
Right beer now.
if you believe in letting the good times pour, reach for the silver bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
Coors Light. Yeah, it's the right beer now. It's the right beer now.
In the heat of battle, it's nice to know you've got plenty of ammunition. NEC Computers and Printers, we're making things better for you.
Even after lying around for 3 years, today's Duracell batteries still have up to 90% of their life. Today's Duracell, date-coded for 3-year storage.
San Francisco has won Super Bowl 23.
Bill Walsh joins Dick Enberg.
OJ has done it. 2,003 yards.
O.J. Simpson joins Bob Costas. NBC Football. It's a whole new ball game.
Some very imposing statistics for the Washington Redskins. Morris with 70 of those yards. Riggs with 43. And a first down at the 43 for Washington. 48 left in this first half. Redskins 14. Dolphins 7. Now they do it in the air. Ricky Sanders outrunning Rick Raff and has the first down.
Again, not much of a pattern, Marv, just straight up the field because of the depth of the corner. And Sanders underneath, he runs the circle. Rick Graff 99 in coverage. Now watch the block by 87, Terry Orr. He gets Langford. That frees Sanders around the corner. Ends up being a nice pickup. 17 yards. Well, they're having their way with Miami here. Everything's working and working for double digits.
3 catches, 30 yards for Sanders. First down at the 26. Rippon is connected on 6 in a row. 10 for 12, 91 yards in all. And again, Rippon to throw. Lots of time. Ernest Biner with another Redskin first down. Greg Florence on the stop. Rippon calling for time.
Once again, Nick, you see the absence of John Offerdahl hurting here. Look at the depth of these linebackers that they get out. The receiver is just finding a dead spot in the zone, and it's an easy shot for Mark Rippon. He's got all kinds of time. Now watch the running back. Biner comes out of the backfield. Look at the depth of the drop of those linebackers. Look, there's a linebacker. There's a linebacker. That's 15 yards. I mean, there's nothing to Mark Rippon finding those guys open with the time and the depth of the drop.
So Biner with 3 catches. He went 13. Washington first down at the 13-yard line. Last Monday against Minnesota, Rippon played a good portion of the second half because Joe Gibbs wanted to give him time when the game was on the line. And he has had a terrific first half. He's hit his last 7, 11 for 13 overall. 26 years old, out of Washington State, 6th-round draft pick in 1986. Short set and completes inside the 10 to Terry Orr. Jarvis Williams, the strong safety, on the stop, and will be a second down and 5 at the 8. Washington quickly to the line of the hurry up. You see the time running down. And Rippon with the time, through in a crowd, and incomplete. And that, of course, stops the clock for the intended receiver.
Marv, help me here. I think Miami only has 10 guys on the field. Let me look here. No, there are 11. I think the Washington Redskins took a play from the Cincinnati Bengals Sam White's playbook. A very quick up huddle at the line of scrimmage to make sure that Miami couldn't change their defense. Almost worked, but it ends up being an incomplete pass, and now a tough conversion down here. 3rd and 5.
And 1 minute left in the first half. Sanders 83 in motion. Rippon was looking that way, changed his mind. Touchdown! Ernest Biner. Been a strong first half for the one-time Cleveland Brown, and the man who went for 1,000 yards on the ground back in '85, Ernest Biner. And this is Lohmiller adding to the lead with 56 seconds remaining in the first half. The Redskins open up a 21-7 lead.
Marv, it looks like with Ernest Biner, he basically busts the pattern. Now here's Biner. The motion draws coverage away. The pattern looks like it's going to go like this. He breaks it off. Rippon finds him. That's a good job of adjusting on the fly. Rippon again with great time. You see Clark 60 is sitting there in coverage. Biner goes by him. If the linebacker can't get a chuck on that guy, or if he's not moving, he's dead weight. Whoever the receiver is going to blow by him, and Ernest Byner did. I see we've seen Byner run well, block well, and catch the ball. And that's what Joe Gibbs said made Byner unique in all the backs that he's had here. Kelvin Bryant is a great receiver, not a good blocker. John Riggins was a great runner, not a good receiver or blocker. George Rogers, great runner, not a good receiver or blocker. Byner has all three attributes that Joe Gibbs loves in his backfield.
And Kelvin Bryant is out with a sprained neck, sustained in an automobile accident. Byner with his 4th catch for 38 yards, 8-yard touchdown pass play. And it is Mark Logan on the return to the 25-yard line. Well, Joe Gibbs was hoping to build the confidence of his young quarterback. Mark Rippon fires the strike to Byner, and check this out.
Yes, sir. He likes it. I think a lot of that goes back to he throws the interception in the first quarter. Next series, next time Washington's on the field, Gibbs calls a simple hitch pass. It erases that interception from Rippon's mind, and he blisters it down the field, and now he's 13 of 16 for 116, a touchdown and an interception.
The Dolphins first down of the 26, and Marino again goes short. Jim Jensen on the reception, stopped by Darrell Green, and the Dolphins quickly to the line. The clock running, 40 seconds to go in this first half. And again, it's Jensen. So first down for Miami.
Redskins, excuse me, Mark. Redskins in total prevent defense here. Keep everybody in front of them. Let nobody get deep. And yes, Ernest Byner. Very happy to be here and contribute.
And a timeout is called by Miami. Coming up at halftime, Bob Costas with an NFL preseason update. News on the Raiders' possible move. O.J. Simpson is live in Oakland. There's a Raiders team reunion taking place in Oakland. Also rundown of the baseball pennant races. And our congratulations to Bob and Randy Costas, who have brought forth young Taylor Costas to the world at large.
Number 2.
Yes.
To go with Keith. Comment on the Raiders. Have they thought about just the California Raiders?
Going for the generic look.
Huh? Well, you know, it would save a lot in emblems.
Now, are you saying, wait a moment, you're saying a club that would be a regional type team that might travel from time to different cities?
I think they already have done that. Just a thought. I mean, you know, it doesn't have to be used, but it's just a thought.
Concept that did not work in the NBA on several occasions. First down at the 42 for the Dolphins. 27 seconds remaining first half. And Marino gunning it, intended for Cooper. Todd Bowles, a free safety on the coverage. It'll be a 2nd and 10 with 22 seconds remaining in the half. Miami Dolphins at 0-2 in preseason, looking unimpressive against the Bears and Houston. They come off a 6-10 season. Major problem, last in running, 28th in the NFL. All kinds of problems defensively. Trailing here, 21-7. Penalty play. Almost a superb catch. Bowles on the coverage. Andre Brown, the free agent rookie from Miami, nearly pulled off a beauty.
We got a defense offside, so it's a free play. Marv, you were commenting on the problems Miami had last year. 0-8 in the division.
Offside, number 72, defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
That is Dexter Manley called for the penalty.
I was going to say 0-8 in the division in 88, 2-6 in 87. And this is a team, the Miami Dolphins, who have won the AFC Eastern Division 13 of their last 16 years, and they've now missed the playoffs 3 years in a row. A lot of fixing to do.
And to make matters worse, John Offerdahl continues his holdout, and that did not look pretty as Stratford was hit on the back, or lower back.
Yeah, frankly, Marv, you mentioned John Offerdahl as we watch Troy Stratford not realizing that there's a hot pass coming his way. You mentioned John Offerdahl, who is a very talented athlete and is certainly the heart and soul of the defense when he's there. But in my opinion, with the yards this defense has given up over the last 4 or 5 years, he's got a lot of nerve holding out. A lot of nerve.
And starting linebacker Mark Brown unsigned. First round draft pick running back Sammy Smith unsigned. Mark Clayton, the excellent wide receiver, a holdout. 3rd down and 5. And it is completed to Duper inside the 30, but only 5 seconds remaining in the half. .25-yard pass play as the Dolphins stop the clock.
You're going to see something very interesting. One, Marino knows how much yardage he needs for the first down. This is the total prevent. Walton, he goes back outside. And now watch as Duper runs to the sideline. Jim Jensen runs up behind him and is signaling to the official timeout. Right there, you see his legs. In the last 2 minutes of the half or a game, you can designate 2 guys to call timeout. As I was going to say, you designate 2 guys who can call timeout in the last 2 minutes of a half or a game. And they realize that they need the clock stopped quickly.
Number 61, Roy Foster, called an eligible receiver as the rookie from Indiana, Pete Stoyanovich, comes on. And this is a 45-yard attempt. 1 for 3 in preseason. He's hit from 48. He's missed from 34 and 48.
That's enough. But it's wide.
So Stoyanovich not able to hit as this first half comes to a conclusion. All Washington on the ground, in the air, and they lead the Miami Dolphins 21-7. Coming up at halftime, Bob Costas with an NFL preseason update. Stay with us.
For induction into the National Football League Hall of Fame, Mike Ditka.
This is it, the Pro Football Hall of Fame. To be selected is the greatest honor of my life. To join men like George Halas. And because of him, I started my career as a Chicago Bear. And I'm with the Bears again. And the game I loved as a player is still in my blood as a coach. The will to win, the fire competition. They're all part of the stories that are here for you at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And when you see Mike Ditka, remember that in life, just as in football, there's a lot more to winning than just wanting to. See, you have to prove yourself every day, to always give your best. You really never lose until you stop trying.
They're all here. The records, the films, the stories at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. Don't miss it. This message furnished by the National Football League.
Halftime in Washington, D.C. with the score. The Redskins 21 and the Dolphins 7. This is Bob Costas at our NBC studios in New York with an NFL preseason update. But first, baseball scores from games involving the pennant races. Today at Wrigley, the Cubs snapped their 6-game losing streak. It took them 12 innings to do it. They came from behind to beat the Braves 4-3 with homers by Lonnie Smith and Dale Murphy. The Braves led 3-2 in the bottom of the 8th, but Ryne Sandberg scored on this Andre Dawson double down the left field line, knotted it at 3. Into extra innings they went, and Mitch Williams eventually got the victory in relief for the Cubs as Mark Eichhorn's pitch is grounded through the left side by Ryne Sandberg. Rick Rona scores from second base. And the Cubbies, for the first time in more than a week, get to celebrate They win today at home 4-3. Other games involving the pennant races, the Cardinals behind Jose De Leon are beating Mike Scott and the Astros at the Dome 5-0, the game in the second inning. Oakland's at Kansas City. Mike Moore against Mark Gubazon. No score there after 2. Kirk McCaskill pitching against Bobby Witt, the Angels and the Rangers in Texas. That game scoreless in the second inning. Ernie Witt has a 3-run home run at the Sky Dome, and after 5 behind Jimmy Key, Toronto leads Milwaukee 3-1. And in the top of the 6th at Yankee Stadium, the Orioles have just scored another run. Jeff Ballard against Clay Parker. The Orioles leading the Yankees 2-0 as Baltimore bats in the 6th. Most of you will see the Orioles and the Yankees tomorrow, beginning with the pregame at 2 Eastern Time on the NBC Game of the Week. Now, this afternoon in Raleigh, North Carolina, Jim Valvano was asked to step down as North Carolina State's athletic director by University System President C.D. Spangler, Jr. Valvano will remain as the Wolfpack's basketball coach. He's been under increasing scrutiny due to charges of academic irregularities raised by the recently published book Personal Fouls. A couple of hours ago, Valvano responded to his president's request.
I'll be the first to admit, and certainly after listening to President Spangler's comments, that if I've been a part of the problem, one of the reasons I'm still here today is I want very much to be a part of the solution.
If he is to be part of that solution, he'll do it only as the coach, not as the athletic director. Moving back to pro football, with just over 2 weeks to go before the start of the regular season, a number of prominent holdouts are finally coming to terms. Kansas City's top draft pick, Derek Thomas, a linebacker from Alabama, made his first appearance today after reaching a contract agreement late yesterday. Thomas is the 22nd first-round pick to report this season, but the list of unsigned number ones still includes the Packers' Tony Mandarich, Detroit's Barry Sanders, the Heisman Trophy winner, and Atlanta's Deion Sanders. Over 20 notable veterans remain unsigned, too. In fact, an all-star team comprised of current holdouts would include Al Toon and Anthony Carter at wide receiver, Marcus Allen and Mike Rozier in the backfield, and Max Montoya and Bill Fralick among the offensive linemen. The quarterback on this holdout team would be the Cowboys' Steve Pallure, who's rumored to be considering an offer from the Falcons that would pave the way for a trade of Pallure from the Cowboys to Atlanta. Now, returning from injury tonight in Seattle is the Boz. Brian Bosworth is in the starting lineup for the Seahawks for the first time since last November. He's been out with shoulder and knee injuries. As Marv Albert told you during the first half, Redskins quarterback Doug Williams had successful back surgery this morning in Washington, D.C. He's expected to be sidelined for at least 8 to 10 weeks, and the pessimists say longer than that. Last night, Williams told George Michael of NBC station WRC in Washington, D.C. that he's not discouraged.
I think you got to take it and try to make it as easy on yourself as you possibly can, and that's the way I'm trying to take it, that it's just another phase of life that you got to go through, especially in this game of football.
Williams knows the surgery is serious, of course, but if he wants to look on the bright side, he can consider the fact that 49ers quarterback Joe Montana had his back operated on in September of 1986, and you'll recall he returned to the lineup 2 months later. Of course, Montana was considered a medical marvel because of that rapid recovery. The Redskins organization narrowly averted another injury 3 weeks ago during the scrimmage that featured the now famous Gerald Riggs sideline truck encounter. Rookie running back Willard Reeves also had this face-to-face meeting with team owner Jack Kent Cooke after catching a pass near the sideline. Hello. It should be noted that Reeves is still on the Redskins roster. Jim McMahon is also making an impression with his new team, the San Diego Chargers. The media was out in force in San Francisco Wednesday night for McMahon's first start with the Chargers. He completed 7 of 13, didn't throw for a touchdown, and did have this costly interception in the second quarter. Ronnie Lott of San Francisco picking him off as the 49ers won 17-14. But McMahon wasn't unhappy with his showing.
I felt pretty comfortable. You know, I felt I had a good grasp of what we were trying to do. I screwed up one call, but you know, that's going to happen when, you know, just learning the signals the last 2 days, and you know, I missed one of them. And other than that, I felt like I, you know, made the right reads, where I threw the ball who I wanted to throw it to. I just didn't get it completed.
Under the conditions, I'm damn happy with it. I mean, this guy come in here, he's only had 2 practices. He's had a lot of classroom work, and some of those passes he threw in the game tonight, he hadn't thrown in practice yet. He's just learned them on paper. So other than the interception, which was a case of him dropping back, he read the coverage correctly, he went to the right guy, got the ball up on time, but it sailed on him in the wind. So it was picked off. Other than that, I thought he did a good job.
Now, across the bay from Candlestick Park, the city of Oakland is eagerly awaiting tomorrow night's return, at least for a few days, of the Raiders to the familiar setting of the Oakland Coliseum. Well, there's been speculation that Al Davis might seize the emotional spotlight of this weekend to dramatically announce a permanent return to Oakland. NBC has now learned that Davis will take at least 2 to 3 more weeks to decide where the Raiders will make their home in the next decade. In addition, the California state capital, Sacramento, now actually appears to be the odds-on favorite. Organizers there have put together a package which guarantees to meet or exceed any franchise fee offered by another city. That could actually mean about $50 million in upfront cash to Davis. Finally, the offer promises a built-to-order stadium, including luxury boxes and a capacity level of about 72,000 seats. The clincher may prove to be the provision that guarantees Al Davis control of all stadium revenue, including non-football related events such as concerts and stadium income generated by a possible baseball expansion team. Sources close to Davis now believe it is very likely that he will ultimately choose Sacramento. Meanwhile, the festivities continue out in Oakland, including tonight's Raider reunion. My new NFL Live colleague, O.J. Simpson, is there. There's the juice. Smile for the camera, buddy. He'll have an on-the-scene report when we come back after this from your local station.
The cops seen a whole lot of trouble.
What happens out here is my whole world.
The robbers after a whole lot of money.
We're not here to hurt anybody. They're taking them back. We got only one shot.
You got a good reason for your frame of mind.
You do what you do best, trying to stop guys like me. Get ready for a whole lot of movie. The surprise of a lifetime. For the first time anywhere, L.A. Takedown, Sunday.
Ready for a weather update? Pontiac heat is on. How hot is Pontiac? They're outselling Nissan, Honda, and Toyota. They're number 3 going for number 1. And during excitement countdown, there's $200 million in factory cashback available on new Pontiacs now in dealer stock. Like up to $1,850 cashback on Grand Prix and Grand Am for qualified first-time buyers. Count down the excitement and feel the Pontiac heat now.
Sometimes the roads are long, so it's good to know you've got some friends along the way. Pull into any Exxon retailer and you'll find advanced formula gasolines, precision equipment for precision engines. You'll also find the kind of help that makes those roads a little smoother. And that'll never change, because it's why people have been coming into Exxon and why they keep coming back.
Thanks. A 5th arrest in the mob killing of a black man after the game.
Okay, now, as promised, we go out to Oakland. The juice is at the Raider reunion. A lot of great names from the past are there. Just before the commercial, I was outlining the situation, O.J., about Al Davis's deliberations concerning where the Raiders will wind up. We know that Oakland's in the running. There's sentimental value attached. We hear the blockbuster offer from Sacramento. The only city that hasn't been mentioned now in the last few days is the incumbent city, Los Angeles. Are they out of the running?
Well, Bob, I think they're slowly fading into the sunset. You know, I had an opportunity to talk to Irving Azoff. He's the chairman of the music division of MCA, and they're in charge of the management of the Coliseum, or they're trying to be in charge of the management of the Coliseum. And he told me that he had a proposal that he felt would satisfy Al Davis, could improve the facility at very little cost to the taxpayer if he could only sit down with Al Davis. The L.A. Coliseum Commission told him not to sit down with Al until Al agrees not to use any information from those talks in a lawsuit, any pending lawsuit between the Coliseum and the Raiders. Meanwhile, here in Oakland, the Oakland Coliseum Commission is giving this fine affair tonight. It's a black tie affair. They're honoring some of the old great Raiders. In actuality, what they're doing is putting their best foot forward. They're laying out the welcome mat. They're telling Al that if his infatuation with L.A. is over, what better place to come than to come home to L.A. Now, I mean, to Oakland. We've been hanging around here for 2 days, and this town is excited. I mean, they're euphoric over the possibility that the Raiders may be coming home for good.
The city of Oakland has been preparing all week for the return of the Raiders. All around town, there are Raider banners, there are Raider newspapers, there are even Raider rocks. And of course, there are the Raider fans, who still mourn the day the Raiders left them for Los Angeles.
It was a really very bad feeling, almost like being stabbed in the back, kicked, lost your girlfriend. You know, your dog got ran over, your Raiders are gone.
Earlier today, hundreds of once heartbroken Raider fans attended a pep rally in downtown Oakland. For them, the Raiders only had one choice.
It's not L.A., it's not Sacramento. Sacramento, no, guys. That thought is null and void. Trust me.
Yesterday, many of those same fans attended a reunion golf tournament featuring a number of former great players eager to express their feelings as to why the Raiders belong in Oakland.
You know, Oakland is a tough blue-collar city, and I think that probably helped make the Raiders what they were in the old days. You know, I used to joke, Oakland, California, home of the Black Panthers, the Hells Angels, and the Oakland Raiders, and I think they were all kind of related there somehow.
When you came to Oakland, you were in for a brawl because there were a lot of hard-working people in the Oakland area. The people in Oakland, if there are any millionaires, they made it on their own. It wasn't given to them. And that's the way the Raiders did it, too. They came to Oakland, we started in Oakland, we made it on our own.
The big difference between L.A. and Oakland, in my opinion, is that there was a center. There was a place that the players met. There was a place that the players all stuck together. It was a common camaraderie. That seemed to have exited once they moved to Los Angeles.
Hollywood, I think, has had a great effect on the Raiders. I think what more important than that, they lost their identity. That's what made us such a great team here in Oakland, because we had a city to identify with. We would go out into banquets and promotional deals. We were part of the community.
Well, I'm standing here with All-Pro tight end Todd Christensen, one of only 3 current Raiders who played with the Raiders when they were in Oakland. Todd, is it true that L.A. the lifestyle there could have a negative effect on the Raider philosophy?
Well, O.J., that's a little bit too easy a theory. The fact of the matter is that our first 4 years in the league, out of those 4 years, 3 of the years we had the best record in football. In 1983, we won a World's Championship, and in the 4th year, we made the playoffs. So I think it's too easy to say that. The fact of the matter is that we've been victimized by a lot of other things that are victimized by other teams in terms of attrition, bad trades, and some bad decisions on the field.
Well, thank you, Todd. All right, that's the story here at Oakland. Back to you, Bob.
O.J., thanks very much for the report. There's another complication in Oakland's bid to get the Raiders to return. Now Ed DeBartolo, the owner of the San Francisco 49ers, might very well claim territorial rights in the Bay Area and demand some kind of payment before he'll vote to allow the Raiders to come back into the territory. The Baltimore Orioles got 2 in the top of the 6th at Yankee Stadium. They now lead with the Yankees batting in the bottom half 3-0. Let's go back to Washington, D.C. and rejoin Marv Albert and Bob Trumpy.
All right, thank you, Bob. And the Redskins leading the Dolphins 21-7 as we head to the 3rd quarter. And in the first half, it was certainly all Washington doing it, both with the running game and also the passing game.
Yeah, Mark, we started the broadcast tonight with questions by both coaches, Joe Gibbs and Don Shula. And I think a lot of questions have been answered in the mind of Joe Gibbs tonight. And frankly, I think Don Shula's got some more questions to answer. The 5 of 6 third downs converted. Washington has not punted. They've totally dominated Miami.
All right, we're getting set for the start of play in the second half, so we'll be back here at RFK in a moment. Back after these words from Willard Reeves. Joe Howard are the deep men, and Reeves takes at the goal line. To the 10, out to the 20. And the Redskins back to the offense, and it will be Stan Humphries coming on, replacing Mark Rypien, who had a brilliant first half. 13 for 16, 117 yards.
Yeah, this is total domination by the Washington Redskins. They converted 5 of 6 third downs into first downs, did not punt. Rypien had a great night. He's done for the evening. And I think the fans feel a little better, his teammates feel a little better, and certainly his head coach, Joe Gibbs, about this team with Rypien at quarterback.
Humphries did not have a good outing against the Vikings on Monday night. He goes right to the ground, and it's Reeves off the slant. Stan Humphries, first-year player from Northeast Louisiana, began his college career at LSU, then transferred to Northeast Louisiana. Monday night, his first NFL start, and went only 4 for 12, 52 yards. Appeared to be somewhat tentative and uptight.
Yes, he was.
To the coaches.
At the hotel, before they even left the hotel for the Metrodome, his palms were sweating, his knees were shaking. He was in deep trouble, and it got worse when the game started.
2nd down and 5. Redskins from their 27. We just get underway here in the 3rd. Again, Reeves. It was David Fry who was right on the scene. And now in the second half, which is usually the case in preseason, many of the regulars will go to the sideline, and the battle for jobs begins in earnest with cut-down time coming up on Tuesday.
There is a plus this year. Generally, in previous seasons, you had to be to 55 by this cut. This year, it's to 60. But most of these teams are at 80, so 20 guys are going to go home.
I know you have been a great booster of the 80-man roster.
Please. You're being facetious.
Sanders in motion. And it is Ricky Sanders for the first down.
We got a flag, too. T.J. Turner roughing the passer. It'll be tacked on top of the reception. This will be a monster game.
17 plus the penalty. Referee Gordon McCarter, a veteran of 23 years in the NFL.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 95 defense, 15 yards from the dead ball spot, first and 10.
Turner, I take it back. I said it was Turner. Actually, that's extenuating circumstances. David Fry hits him in the chest, pushes the quarterback back into T.J. Turner, and Turner, there is the rule that one-step rule that you have to try to avoid the quarterback. And where it's tacked onto the top of the reception, ends up being almost a 45-yard gain.
And the Redskins, who do not need the charity, first down inside the Miami 40. This is Reeves. Try to stiff arm his way, so Joe Gibbs getting a long look at Willard Reeves, who was stopped by David Fry. It's Joe Howard checking into the backfield. Howard picked up on waivers last week.
Look at there.
The Buffalo Bills.
The Skins still have the big guys up front. They still got Grimm, Jacoby, Bostic, May, and Lachey in there. These guys are wonderful players, and they never seem to wear out. Last year they did.
Stan Humphries. And it is Reeves picking his way. Getting to the 31-yard line. He is shy of the first down. Redskins 21 and the Dolphins 7. We are early third quarter. Marv Albert with Bob Trumpy from RFK Stadium in Washington.
Marv, you mentioned the 80-man roster. I have not come across a coach who likes it. Joe Gibbs made a very interesting point. He says, you know, we sign these free agents and hire these kids, and we promise them a chance to make the team. And he said, I had to cut 3 kids that I promised a chance to make the Redskins just to sign and bring in our draft choices. He does not like it at all. Neither does Don Shula.
But I think you would find that to be the case with every coach in the NFL as we check out this 3rd and 2 incomplete. Intended for the H-back Craig McEwen. There are some who defend the 80-man roster who say, well, if it were 90 or 95, the coaches would still complain, no matter what the number is.
Well, but if you add the 80-man roster, Marv, to the fact that if a player is injured in the preseason, he goes on the injury reserve list and is lost to the team for the year, now you're talking about changing your preseason approach, not playing your starting quarterback, putting him in jeopardy, losing him for the year, and things of that nature.
And it's a 49-yard field goal attempt for Lohmiller.
It's enough.
It is. It hit the
right upright.
Yes.
Last game of the season, 1988, Riverfront Stadium. Last-second field goal. It's a chip shot of about 21 yards, and Lohmiller hits the right upright. How do you do that? How do you kick the thing that far, that accurately, to hit the upright? Boom.
Chip Lohmiller now 3 for 5 in preseason. Hit a couple against Minnesota, but misses here from long range.
Anyone care for an ice cold bud?
Where does she come from?
In ancient times, man wondered, how can we best harness the awesome power of an eclipse? Today, science has at last provided the answer. Use all 4 wheels. Introducing the Mitsubishi Eclipse GSX Turbo with full-time all-wheel drive.
The
lights on these cars are running on battery power alone. And in the end, only one, the car with the new Die-Hard battery, our most powerful ever, is able to start. Great low prices every day, Die-Hard power. That's your money's worth and a whole lot more.
The product. The vehicles. The testing grounds. The results. STP oil treatment is the edge.
This NBC Sports preseason football special is sponsored by Budweiser. Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By Mitsubishi Motors, who invites you to come see the full line of cars and trucks. Mitsubishi, suddenly the obvious choice. And by Reebok.
Well, Cliff Stout has taken over for Dan Marino at quarterback. Dolphins first down from the 31. Pass intended for Troy Stratford. And the Dolphins are facing the starting Redskin defense, although they have made a host of changes.
With one exception, Marcus Cook playing defensive end for Dexter Manley, but starting defensive backfield still in there. Well, obviously, Richie Pettibone wants to give this group a real test. There's Marino on the sideline. Tony Nathan standing behind Don Shula. It's a disappointing night for the Dolphins and Don Shula.
Marino 11 for 20, 126 yards, a touchdown and an interception. Second down play. And Stratford able to turn the corner, short pickup. And the wave has taken over.
I'm shocked.
Yes, at RFK. Wilbur Marshall able to force Stratford out. 4 minutes have gone by in the third quarter. Redskins 21 and the Dolphins 7. A third down and 8 coming up.
Now the big switch in personnel by the Redskins. Marshall, all the linebackers come out. Brian Davis is the only, and Bowles are the only defensive back still in the ball game. Darrell Green is still in there.
Val Glover split wide to the right as the Dolphins continue to shuffle. Stout nearly picked off. Pass intended for Andre Brown, and Darrell Green had a shot at it. So the punting unit comes on for Miami. Quickie series for Cliff Stout.
Stout does a good job here of finding a receiver, but Darrell Green with that great closing speed that's right in front of Andre Brown almost comes up with the pickoff.
Reggie Roby, usually among the NFL's top punters. And that is Joe Howard battling for a spot on the Washington roster back deep. Calling fair catch at the 31. Redskins back to the offense. 35-yard punt by Roby. We'll be right back.
The writers of Motor Trend magazine road tested a lot of cars before the Mitsubishi Galant. They road tested a lot of cars after it. But no other car was so well conceived, so well crafted, so thoroughly satisfying to drive. And that is why they marked the occasion in the most significant way they could. They named the Mitsubishi Galant Motor Trend Import Car of the Year.
Is your business ready to grow? Are you ready to expand? Do you think you have a product that people on the other coast would want to buy? AT&T's 800 service can get you there. For $20 a month plus usage, you can be using 800 service and reaching those markets, reaching the brand new customers. And the cost of a call, the average call, 4 minutes, less than $1. All you need to do is want to grow and expand. We'll get you started for free. There's no installation charge now through October 17th.
Buddy McGirt, one of the best fighters pound for pound in boxing today. He's a big puncher with a no-frills, high-pressure fighting style. His best is yet to come, and he's ready to take on the welterweight division. McGirt battles Gary Kid Jacobs live on NBC Sports World.
There's Gerald Riggs, who did most of his damage early and certainly one of our MVP candidates. And a reminder, we'll be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion of the game. First down at 31, Washington. Back to the offense, Willard Reeves taking the handoff for Stan Humphries, who has come on for the starter, Mike Rippon. Jeff Cross from the right defensive end position. Second-year man from Missouri on the tackle.
Well, I would certainly think that any of these defensive players now wearing that Dolphin blue jersey would give it an extra effort because they can make the team tonight. These up front guys, Soche 70, Cross 91, does a pretty good job of standing up at offensive tackle there. I mean, this is a make or break half for all these guys on the defense. There are a lot of spots available on this defense.
And again, Humphries hands it off. Reeves, who is battling for a spot on the roster, stopped by linebacker David Fry. 5 minutes gone by here in the third, and the Redskins in front of the Dolphins 21-7. Washington has preseason record of 2-1. They will finish the preseason schedule at New Orleans. They play their opener Monday night, September 11th at home against the Giants, and then home for the Eagles, followed by games at Dallas at New Orleans. Third down and 4. Sanders in motion. And Humphries able to dump it off and has the first down with Sanders. Ricky Sanders, the Redskins' most valuable player last season with 73 catches, has picked off his 5th reception.
From behind the offense, Humphries has got a whale of a lot of time. Fry coming late. Sanders makes the catch. Watkins on the tackle. Oh boy, corners are playing awful soft. Defense is awful soft, and Redskins taking advantage of it.
And a first down at the 44. Reeves stiff-arming his way to midfield. Willard Reeves, the 30-year-old first-year player we discussed earlier out of Northern Arizona. Among the leading rushers in the Canadian Football League the last 5-6 years. Spent last year, though, on injured reserve, out with an ankle problem. There's Willard Reeves during preseason, averaging about 4 per carry.
That's misleading that first year in the NFL. He's 30 years old. So he's got some years on those legs.
Second down and 4. Play action. And Humphries had it deflected and a penalty marker down.
Don't throw it at the head coach. It's all right to throw it out of bounds. Don't throw it at the head coach. That one almost got Joe Gibbs. Illegal use of the hands by the defense. Joe did a good job of getting out of the way of that one.
Showing some nifty moves.
5-yard penalty, first down.
And that is the linebacker, Wes Pritchett. Now, last year was not a pleasant one for Joe Gibbs, along with the 7-9 record, in great pain with an infected cyst on his lower back. He has recovered and looks in excellent shape, and he had to be in good shape to get out of the way of that toss.
Quickness. The coach has still got it.
First down at the 45. McEwen, the H-back, peeling off, and it's Reeves. Forward progress will be marked at the 41.
One of the problems I think Miami's had is the play of their nose tackle. Now, Soche has had some good games, but there are other times when he just seems to get blown off the ball. Now, this is a lot of pushing and shoving, and the center that was all over him there. Schlereth. I don't think Bostic is in there. I'll identify him here in a minute.
Second down and 6. Again, play action. And McEwen wide open. McEwen down to the 20, stopped by the combination of Batiste and Oliver. 21-yard advance.
I don't know what else Tom Olivadotti can do. But McEwen, the H-back, he slips out of the backfield. They've used this play an awful lot. He's standing out there with no one in coverage. 0. And then finally, Lewis Oliver, who was a good 10, 12 yards deep, was able to make the spot. You know, Marv, I think you're right. I think Russ Grimm is at center for the Redskins. Am I dreaming, or is he lined up at center?
At the Benots ready, 1st and 10 at the 21. And Humphreys goes sideline. Nice catch. Big hit on Humphreys. Bobby Watkins with the hit. And it was Carl Harry, as you will see right here at the end of the reception.
That's David Fry, pressure on Humphreys. Still able to stand in there and get it off, and I do believe Russ Grimm is at center. He's getting no chance for it. Let's see when he goes to the line of scrimmage here if we can pick him out. It's Russ Grimm at center.
6'3", about 280 pounds. 2nd down 5 from the 16. Humphreys off the roll. Humphreys on the run. Inside the 10 for the 1st down. So the scramble by quarterback Stan Humphreys.
This is a play off the counter series. You'll see the pulling of the offensive lineman this way, and when Humphreys comes out and rolls, he basically has the defense fooled. There's nobody out there. And then Grimm with a good block. 68. Humphreys gets up there. Let's pick up. 1st down. Drive continues.
1st and goal at the 7. And this is Willard Reeves. Getting inside the 5-yard line. Ryan Sauché able to cover up Reeves. So another steady drive by the Redskins, who lead by the score of 21-7.
Well, here we go again. This is what their steady diet is. They crash everybody down here. These two guys pull. And I mean, there's a path generally through there that you and I might be able to pick up 4 or 5 yards. Excellent job of blocking. Dolphins haven't even slowed that play down tonight.
10th play of the drive. 2nd and goal at the 3. It is Reeves, and he's in for the score.
Whoa.
And Willard Reeves featured on this drive.
Once again, this offensive line does a great job of bowling over the defensive line. Shula, Olivadotti trying to figure out how do we stop it. You'll see in a moment. Grimm and the 2 guards get great blocks right at the point of attack, and nothing for Reeves to get in the end zone.
Here's Chip Lohmiller. So the Redskins add to the lead. It is 28-7 over Miami. 69 yards on 10 plays.
It's very simplistic, but the way you win in the NFL is control the line of scrimmage. And there is a prime example. They blew everybody on the defensive line into the end zone. Reeves carries it in, and Tom is shaking his head.
How do you best harness the awesome power of an Eclipse? Use all 4 wheels. Introducing the Mitsubishi Eclipse GSX Turbo with full-time all-wheel drive.
For reaching deep, for going long, for digging in when things go wrong, for pushing hard in all you do, that extra yard for coming through this much for you.
Beechwood aged for the taste so crisp and clean, so refreshing. It's the king of beers.
This much for you.
Force equals mass times acceleration. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. A body at rest tends to stay at rest. A body in motion tends to stay in motion. Power equals work divided by time equals the Reebok cross-training system equals the physics behind the physiques equals Reebok.
Today's Duracell batteries last up to 30% longer than the ones from a few years back. Duracell. You can't top the copper top.
San Francisco has won Super Bowl 23.
Bill Walsh joins Dick Enburn.
O.J. has done it. 2,003 yards.
O.J. Simpson joins Bob Costas. NBC football. It's a whole new ball game.
The kickoff by Lohmiller, handled by Hampton. Out to the 20-yard line, Lorenzo Hampton. Stopped by Ralph Tam, backup guard. There's Willard Reeves, who capped it off by taking it in from 2 yards away.
Actually, it was easy. Grimm at center. You see the good job McKenzie blocking up front. May blocking up front. Well, he just fires through like he shot through a cannon. Basically, nothing in his way. Wes Grimm was playing center, has played sparingly center throughout his career, but not in this exhibition season.
And the Dolphins start out at their 21-yard line. Stratford in motion, and Stout able to combine with the tight end Farrell Edmonds. Ryan Bonner, backup linebacker, on the stop. First catch for Edmonds.
We have pretty much documented how much the Redskins have dominated tonight. They've scored on 4 of 6 drives tonight. Had an opportunity from 47. Lohmiller missed the field goal, hit the upright, but they'd like to do that against the Giants in week 1. There's Russ Grimm. Yes, ask for overtime, Russ. Ask for overtime.
Yeah. Man who's come back from arthroscopic surgery on his left knee. Second down and 4. Loss on the play as Stratford was hit behind the line by Greg Minuski. Minuski at one point was pushing Neil Olkowitz for the starting slotted middle linebacker, and Minuski on the stop.
Had a bad game last week. Stock dropped a little bit. Tom Brown, 36 of Miami, just runs right by Minuski. Minuski makes the tackle. Yeah, they want him to eventually take over for Olkowitz. Olkowitz has spent his entire life here playing middle linebacker for the Redskins.
And he was actually voted last season by his teammates as the defensive most valuable player. And here he is fighting for a job. Beautiful catch as Stout is able to make the connection with DeVal Glover, the rookie from Syracuse. It's a 23-yard pickup, and Glover took a heavy hit.
I'm going to give him a 9.0 on this one. He is really stretched out here. The receivers don't like to do this over the middle, stretch out, because you do get hammered. There's no question about it. You go back to the quarterback and you say, look, thanks for throwing it to me. Next time, hit me in the numbers, will you? Don't stretch me out.
A.J. Johnson, Chris Mandeville combining on that wallop on Glover. And Stout able to complete to Brown. Out at midfield, Clarence Vaughn, Raven Caldwell combined on the tackle of Tom Brown, a first-year player from Pittsburgh who sat out all of last season because of a knee problem. In fact, his last game action, November of 1987. And as we discussed earlier, getting a long look tonight by Don Shula. 2:20 remaining in the third quarter. Dolphins trailing the Redskins 28-7. Second down and 7. Stout trying to swing it, intended for Stratford.
Well, that didn't look good from the outset. Looked like the center was late snapping it. Stout was ready to pull out. The ball wasn't snapped in the center. No timing whatsoever. Things didn't work well on that play at all. Stout, I think, is probably one of the most unique quarterbacks in the history of the game. Had 4 Super Bowls, never took a snap. Qualified for a pension in the NFL without ever taking the field. Played behind Terry Bradshaw at Pittsburgh all those years. So he's fresh. I don't care how many years he's played. He's fresh.
And he is an 11-year man, at least in terms If you're counting the seasons.
Sure you do.
Timeout taken by Miami. And with that timeout, we'll take a break. 2:09 remaining in the third.
How do you best harness the awesome power of an Eclipse? Use all 4 wheels. Introducing the Mitsubishi Eclipse GSX Turbo with full-time all-wheel drive.
I've made up my mind. I'm going to do it. Why shouldn't I? I'm the one who has to look at myself in the mirror every morning. So before I lose another hair, I'm going to the doctor. I know doctors have treatment programs that are proven to work. More guys are trying them every day. I'm not bad now, but I wouldn't mind looking better.
Your doctor can really do something about hair loss. So see your doctor or call this toll-free number.
In this package is over 40 years of experience in overseas shipping and access to more air routes worldwide. Because Flying Tigers has changed its stripes and merged with Federal Express to form the largest all-cargo airline in the world.
What good is spending a fortune on brand name sneakers if you have nothing left over to play with?
An innocent couple
Are we lost?
trapped in a city of terror.
The only thing that matters is getting out of here.
Final Jeopardy, Monday.
Well, this man, Don Shula, may be looking at a very long season. We're still preseason, only the third game of the exhibition slate, but it has not looked promising.
Yeah, you're looking for signs of life. You're looking for a change in the approach. I don't think you can fault the effort of his kids. I just don't think they got the horses. I mean, this is a lousy year for Don Shula to only be able to bring 80 guys into camp. He'd like to have 150, find some defensive players.
Third down, 7. And Stout completes for the first down, and some more missed tackle out there. And again, it's the rookie from Syracuse, DeVal Glover, a 10th round draft pick, 16-yard advance.
It's a nice pattern run by Glover. Excellent job. Yeah, it's a nice quick square out. Good job. Johnson was the man in coverage. Good action, good movement. Mandeville makes the tackle. This is a tough ball club to make it wide receiver, but Glover's giving it a shot. You know, there are a lot of other people watching. Other teams may need him.
And now Scott Schwades is out to the left. The man in motion, Andre Brown. And the handoff for Hampton.
Oh, he cuts back. You see what happened there, Mar? Had a lead blocker out in front of him. And Hampton cuts back inside the block. That's designed to go outside. And I think Lo Hampton there kind of tricked himself out of that run.
And picked up only 3, 2nd and 7. Talking about the problems of Shula. In all fairness, he is without people such as Mark Clayton, John Offerdahl, Mark Brown, #1 draft pick Sammy Smith, John Bosa. Miami's #1 pick in '87 is injured, as is Eric Pomeroy. Intended for Hampton.
Didn't even see it. You got to recognize that blitz and see if Stout turns around and says something to see if Lorenzo Hampton is coming back to the sideline. See if we can pick up the blitz here. Here's Hampton, and when he sees that guy blitz in front of him, here's the quarterback. He's got to look. As it is, he just goes down, doesn't pay any attention to the blitzer. Watch what happens. He does not. Raven Caldwell on the blitz. He didn't even notice it.
And Stout now with a 3rd down and 7. Penalty markers throw. A lot of time, and Stout fires. He overthrew, and it is incomplete. It was one hop, short hop by number 45, Barry Wilburn. The intended receiver was Glover.
We got an injury down, too. Offensive lineman Greg Johnson is down for Miami.
Johnson, a 2nd-year player from Oklahoma's taken over at right tackle for the starter Ronnie Lee.
Illegal motion. Number 73 on the offense. The penalty is declined. 4th down. Injury timeout.
So not a happy scenario for Greg Johnson, who was called on that penalty.
He was on that Oklahoma national championship team of a couple of years ago.
Only 36 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, and the Dolphins trailing 28-7.
Not sure what happens to him, but here he is. As we roll the picture, we can see if we can pick up what happens. He's holding his right knee. Generally speaking, some guy, looked like he just planted his foot and the knee kind of popped out. You could see it wiggle a little bit there. So the veteran Ronnie Lee gets to come back in the ballgame. Lucky him. Trailing 28-7.
Ronnie Lee, a one-time tight end, an 11-year man from Baylor. And you're looking at the rookie, Pete Stoyanovich, who earlier missed a 45-yard attempt. Now he has a shot to beat out Fuad Reveiz. Reveiz injured during preseason, injury problems a year ago, and you get the idea that the Dolphins are not pleased with the fact that Reveiz has been hit by injury. 47-yard attempt. He is 1 for 4 in preseason. Stout puts it down from 47.
He's hooked both of them. He missed them both to the left.
2 long attempts. Fuad Reveiz looking on. So a difficult situation for Stoyanovich, but if he hits 1 out of the 2, you certainly have to feel that his chances are increased.
He misses and he knows it. The thing you got to like, he missed the 48-yarder, had plenty of distance. Missed this one, had plenty of distance. But I think Shula's looking for someone, 1, who'll stay healthy, and 2, who's a little more consistent.
8th round draft pick, Pete Stoyanovich, a 2-time All-American in soccer, one of the nation's standout place kickers last year at Indiana. So the Redskins take over at the 30. 30 seconds remaining in this 3rd quarter. And Humphreys remaining in at the quarterback, gives it to Reeves. Willard Reeves, a major factor in that last Redskin drive. Willard Reeves improved his leg strength during the offseason by pulling a truck with a harness, a technique, Bob, that I know you have been using.
Right. I'll pull mine downhill. I don't care where he pulls his.
Final seconds. 3rd quarter, Redskins with a 2nd down and 8. And that will wrap it. 3 complete at RFK in Washington. And the Redskins in front of the Dolphins by the score of 28-7.
I remember when I was 12 years old, I wanted to be in the big leagues. Sure, it was a big dream, but Dad said big dreams are what you need if you want to be the best. And Dad taught me about a lot more than just baseball. He taught me the meaning of trust and hard work and what it takes to be number 1. Well, I never did pitch in a World Series, but I did make it to the big leagues. You've got to go with the best.
Century 21.
When you buy a Supercolor TV antenna from Radio Shack for just $24.88, you'll get terrific reception instead of interception. It's easy to install, and the Supercolor computer-designed antenna gives you pictures and sound so real.
Hey, Starbuck, what do we do now?
Red right, 16 wide post, on 1.
It could make all the difference in the game.
Come on.
There's a man open. And touchdown!
The Supercolor TV antenna, just $24.88, only at Radio Shack, the technology store.
Starbuck called the perfect play.
Excuse me. Are those Bugle Boy jeans that you're wearing?
People who count on my brakes are important to me. So the people who work on my brakes are important to me.
The people who work on your brakes at Midas are trained brake experts. Remember, nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
The cops seen a whole lot of trouble.
What happens out here is my whole world.
The robbers after a whole lot of money.
We're not here to hurt anybody.
They're taking them back.
We got one shot. You got a good reason for your frame of mind.
You do what you do best, trying to stop guys like me.
Get ready for a whole lot of movie.
A surprise of a lifetime.
For the first time anywhere, LA Takedown, Sunday.
On to the fourth quarter in Washington, along with Bob Trumpy, Marv Albert. The Washington Redskins have done it in a big way against the Miami Dolphins. They lead by the score of 28-7. Second down and 8 for the Redskins at the 32. And Humphreys has the first down. The rookie, Jimmy Johnson. 16-yard pickup. Correction, Charlie Darrington, a rookie out of Kentucky.
They fake the counter once again. Fools our cameraman, which is difficult to do. Darrington down through the middle, breaks one tackle. Louis Oliver finally gets him down. First down pickup. And this offensive barrage continues for the Redskins, no matter who they put in there.
So the first down at the 47-yard line. Here's Humphreys. Make it 6 out of 7 for the quarterback, Stan Humphreys. And again, he connects with Darrington. Wes Pritchett, backup linebacker, making the stop.
Joe Gibbs has got to feel good. He loses Doug Williams to surgery this morning, in case you did not hear, lower back surgery. Wonders about Mark Rypien and Humphreys. Rypien had an outstanding first half, 11 for 16, touchdown and an interception. Humphreys has played very well in the second half. So the quarterback situation here looks better tonight than it did 2 days ago.
Second down and 6 at midfield. And another nice move by Reeves, who has the first down. David Fry, the outside linebacker, on the tackle. 2 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter, and the Redskins in the midst of another good-looking drive. Dan Marino played the entire first half, and it appeared that Don Shula was looking for more variation. We saw an attempt at the running game, but nothing worked.
Yeah, he didn't have a bad half. It's just the defense couldn't even slow Washington down.
And the first down for Washington at the Miami 42. And again, the stiff arm technique of Reeves. Stopped by Lifford Hobley. A reminder, the NBC Boxing Tour returns to Sports World this Sunday with live action from the Felt Forum at Madison Square Garden. Buddy McGirt, one-time junior welterweight champ, will move up in class and go up against the welterweight division when he battles British Commonwealth champion Gary Kid Jacobs. Scheduled 10-rounder, yes.
Kid Jacobs.
Along with the famed fight doctor on Sunday.
I've met him. He's not a bad guy. His wife's a better cook than he is a talker.
That is a begrudging comment. Second and 11, and Humphreys off the scramble, able to reach out to the 35-yard line. He's not a bad guy, huh?
No. I like Purdy. You can spend one night and it feels like a month with Purdy anywhere you go. Humphreys not really known as a scrambler, as a mover, but here he does a good job of avoiding the rush. He should take a little bit better care of that football. But slides in there.
It is a third down and 4 at the 36. Humphreys spent last season on the non-football injury list with a blood disorder. Had some weight problems. Coaches were concerned with that expanding belt line, but seems to be in good shape this preseason. And he overthrows. Intended for Joe Howard.
And Joe Howard stopped in the middle of the pattern. I think he felt that Humphreys was not going to throw it to him, so he slowed down considerably. I think if he'd have kept running, he might have got it to him.
And the Washington Redskins, to give you an idea of the way things have been going here tonight, will attempt their first punt of the game. This is their 7th drive, and a punting battle is underway between this man, Richard Tootin, a first-year player from Florida State, and Greg Horn. And it carries in, so they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. That will go down as a 36-yard punt. We'll be back after these words from your local station.
What do a growing number of violent criminals have in common? Their sex. Bad Girls in NBC News Summer Special, Wednesday.
Be cool.
CD 101.9. Very cool.
When do you drink America's favorite German beer?
Only when I'm alone. Or with someone.
Beck's, the #1 imported German beer, in dark, too.
Ready for a weather update? Pontiac heat is on. How hot is Pontiac? They're outselling Nissan, Honda, and Toyota. They're #3 going for #1. And during Excitement Countdown, there's $200 million in factory cashback available on new Pontiacs now in dealer stock. Like up to $1,850 cashback on Grand Prix and Grand Am for qualified first-time buyers. Count down the excitement and feel the Pontiac heat now.
Sometimes the roads are long. So it's good to know you've got some friends along the way. Pull into any Exxon retailer and you'll find gasolines unsurpassed at cleaning your engine and service unsurpassed at keeping you going. And that'll never change because quality products and services are why people have been coming into Exxon and why they keep coming back.
Thanks.
The most important thing you can do to protect yourself when you're driving is to stay sober. Don't drink and drive.
The alleged House of Horror sex abuse father in court after the game.
The two Miami place kickers, Juan Revés, Pete Stoyanovich, in a battle that has gone nowhere this evening for Pete Stoyanovich, who missed 2, but both from long range.
Yeah, closeness does not show nearness does not show closeness, does it, in that picture?
This is Logan on the first and 10 from the 20. Nice run by Mark Logan. Right prior to that burst, Dolphins have accounted for only 40 yards on the ground. He just picked up 20.
Logan is a player that was picked up from Cincinnati, also in Cleveland, and a player with considerable talent, but he just never really had the opportunity to show what he can do.
Acquired from the unprotected list of the Cincinnati Bengals. And again, Logan, this time stopped by Clarence Vaughn. The Miami running game has been taking a beating in the South Florida media. The other day, in the Miami Herald, columnist Edwin Pope asked the question, how do you make sure something stays put? And the answer, Bob, call a Dolphin running play. It's a tough room here.
There's Tony Nathan. They can certainly use his services. More of a receiver than he was a running back, but a tough kid. That's cruel. But
he's passing it on. Right?
Yes, not attributing it to you, but as much as this team has won over the years, this is not set very well with most people in South Florida. We've got a discussion here. I don't see yes, I do see a flag on the field.
Illegal use of the hands, number 72 offense, face mask, a man who made the tackle on the defense. The penalty's offset, replay first down.
Ronnie Lee for the offense, and the man who made the tackle on the defense.
Clarence Vaughn.
Mr. Jorgensen was unaware of his number. It's just the man who made the tackle on the defense.
So a first down at the 36. 4.5 gone by in the fourth. Stout looking deep, and then went the shorter route for Andre Brown. Brown, the rookie from University of Miami, 17-yard connection. Don Graham, backup linebacker out of Penn State, with the stop on Brown.
Andre Brown has been a nice find. He was a free agent. He's led the Dolphins in receiving throughout the preseason, basically taking the role of Mark Clayton along with Freddie Banks. He's done an excellent job, left a great impression.
Signed as a free agent, Andre Brown. And markers are thrown at both sides of the line.
False start, 76 offense.
So it is the right guard Tom Toth called on the penalty.
Don, excuse me, Marv, I worked with Don Crickey for 5 years. I apologize.
It's all right, Paul.
That's okay. I did see George Young of the New York Giants at halftime here scouting the Redskins for the opening game of the season. Got to go back with a pretty glowing report of this football team.
And Stout able to complete. Gerald White, second-year man from Michigan, on a 12-yard pickup. Next Friday night, join us right here on NBC for our final preseason game. Joe Montana and the Super Bowl champion 49ers head to the Kingdome in Seattle, going up with the Seahawks in their final tune-up before the regular season.
Can they repeat? Can they repeat, San Francisco?
A second down and 2 at the Redskins 40. And off the delay, it is Mark Logan once again. Fred Stokes on the stop from his left defensive end position. And a check of the scoreboard. The Blue Jays over Milwaukee. Some of you will see that game tomorrow here on NBC. Orioles leading the Yankees in the ninth. Baltimore game and a half in front of Toronto. 3.5 over Milwaukee going in. Oakland and Kansas City, no scores. We look at the American League West. Oakland 2 games in front of the Angels. NL East. And it's Logan to the outside and Submarine at the 30. Picked up the 3 on the play. Martin Mayhew, first-year player from Florida State, up from the secondary.
As the big guys getting their rest. Grimm, Mark May, Stoyanovich. He's going to have another chance at a field goal, he hopes. Admitted that because he played at Indiana, there's only one grass field in the Big Ten and has trouble kicking on grass. Admitted that to us the other day in Miami.
2nd and 7 for Stout. And he goes up top looking for Brown. Covered by A.J. Johnson, the rookie from Southwest Texas State.
Sometimes you can do all the coaching you want, but it comes down to basic athletic skills. And in this case, Andre Brown, great body control. Johnson there with his arm up. Brown almost makes that catch. Cliff Stout not having a bad performance here.
6 for 12, 78 yards.
I mistakenly said he had 4 Super Bowl rings. I want to correct that. He has 2 Super Bowl rings, but he played in neither game nor in either season.
78-79 is Terry Bradshaw back up. Pittsburgh Steelers. 3rd down and 7. And it is, let's see, was he inbounds?
Yes.
It is a 1st down for Glover, who has had an impressive second half. And he did it in front of A.J. Johnson.
Johnson took the chance, scores 28-7. You might make the ball club by coming up with the interception. You'll see the whole thing right in front of you. Now the receiver fades that pattern a little bit, Glover, and gives Johnson a chance for the interception, but Stout does a great job of getting that ball there quickly. And you can see that Andre Brown is inbounds. There he steps out. 1st down. Ball Glover. Oh, had a good series here.
1st down at the 20. And it's Logan on the reception, stopped by Don Graham. So Mark Logan picks up a couple of yards on the play. 7.5 remaining in this 4th quarter, and the Redskins lead the Dolphins by the score of 28-7. Miami Dolphins will close out the preseason schedule a week from tomorrow night against the Philadelphia Eagles in Miami. And they open the regular season September the 10th at home against Buffalo, and then travel to New England.
Blitz. Oh.
Good effort by Schwades, could not hang on as Mayhew got a piece of it.
Good job of reading the blitz by Schwades and Stout. You can see the blitz coming. It's pretty obvious. It's not hard to find. It's Barry Wilburn. Mayhew just been able to strip the ball away of the receiver.
Martin Mayhew signed as a free agent with Buffalo last year, injured his wrist, spent the season on injured reserve. It is a 3rd down and 3, 10th play of this drive for Miami. Snout out of the shotgun, and he has Glover, touchdown. And he was able to beat Mayhew, so DeVal Glover, who has good hands, not considered to be a burner. Excellent moves, and we have seen those moves here in the 4th quarter.
Stout waits on him. Watch. He's picked out one guy, and he's going to stay with him. He does a good job of looking him off because it looked like Stout's throwing it out in the flat to Ron Davenport, number 30. A little hesitation by Mayhew. Glover gets in the end zone.
His 4th catch, 61 yards in all, 13-yard pass play.
That wasn't a bad drive by Miami. Did a lot of good things in that. Logan carried the ball well, caught a couple of nice passes. Glover did a good job catching it.
And here is Stoyanovich. So a drive that went 4 minutes.
We got a flag down. We got a flag down.
11 plays, 80 yards, and here's the call.
Tripping on the offense. That generally comes from the corner. The guy out there that's blocking the real quick guys.
Tripping, number 30 on the kicking team. 10-yard penalty, re-kick.
Yeah, it's Ron Davenport, the fullback. He was out as the up back on the very edge of the kicking team. And watch what happens. You can see where he puts his leg out. He's right here. When the guy jumps inside, he hits him with his inside leg. Hits the inside guy, hits the outside guy, and trips the inside guy.
And with the penalty, this in effect is a 23-yard. Make it a 30-yard placement, and he's got it. So the Redskins now leading the Dolphins 28-14.
Fine, leave.
I left my beer in there.
Is that all you came back for? Your Bud Light?
I'm sorry. I was late because I drove Candy home.
Really?
Really?
The clean, fresh taste of Bud Light for those who don't take their light beer lightly.
I'm glad we worked this out.
Who's Candy?
Candy? Guess beer's out of the question.
Talk to me, CJ. What are you really feeling?
It's very sweet.
This is what sets every Mazda apart. It's called Kansei Engineering. Engineering based on human feelings.
Keep an eye on his pulse, please.
With it, Mazda can actually learn how to create cars that feel just right. Because to us, feeling right is what driving is really all about. Come feel Mazda.
It just feels right.
How do you keep a major city running smoothly? Atlanta does it with Quaker State Motor Oil. In every fire truck, every police car, every Atlanta city-owned vehicle.
The big Q stands for quality.
In every town in America, there's always one place that does a little bit better job of fixing your car. And it seems the things they all have in common are great mechanics, great service, and Napa parts.
This NBC Sports preseason football special is sponsored by Mazda Cars and Trucks. Mazda, it just feels right. By Bud Light, everything else is just a light. And by American Airlines, something special in the air.
Washington Redskins' first home appearance for the '89 season for their 5 preseason games on the road. 11 plays, 80 yards for the Dolphins to cut that Redskin lead to 28-14. Stephen Hobbs, Joe Howard awaiting the kickoff from Pete Stoyanovich. And it is Howard from the goal line to the 10 and hit down across the 15-yard line. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without The express written consent of the Washington Redskins and the National Football League is prohibited. This game, the property of the National Football League, all rights reserved. Washington Redskins start out at their 17-yard line. Redskins with the 21-7 lead at halftime. Bill Kenny has come on. Rippon and Humphreys with outstanding performances. Bill Kenny, longtime veteran with the Kansas City Chiefs, battling for a job here. Hands it off to Joe Mickles. Kenny, 6 for 10, 40 yards against the Vikings Monday night. Had some problems, but he was playing for the most part with second stringers.
And also facing the #1 defense in the NFL. The Vikings are a threat, a big threat in 1989.
Bob, when Kenny first reported to the Skins, there was some thought he would request uniform number 9 as number of Kansas City, but Sonny Jurgensen, who wore number 9 for Washington, objected. He said, hey, I might come out of retirement and make a comeback. Sonny said he's getting back into shape. He is now watching up to 5 exercise shows per day. Kenny is hauled down. Jeff Cross on the sack, the first of the night.
Sonny Jurgensen is sitting 2 booths from us. He, along with Sam Huff, are the color commentators for the Skins on radio here in Washington, D.C. And he looks about the size of that sign.
What a sweet guy. Taking shots at the fight doctor and Sonny Jurgensen, guys who cannot answer back.
No, Sonny can take it. Sonny can take it. There's Sonny. One of the all-time great quarterbacks. Had the worst delivery and got more done with it than I think anybody that ever took the field.
3rd down, 15, back at the 12 with 5.5 remaining in the 4th quarter. And Kenny able to complete to the rookie Joe Mickles, who has a genuine shot to make this team a 12th round draft pick out of Mississippi. Dana Batista, inside linebacker, fellow rookie from Texas A&M, making the tackle.
Not enough for the first down, but you're right about Mickles, an excellent receiver and blocker. And he can play all those special teams too.
And so the second punt of the game, Richard Tootin. They call him Bootin' Tootin. He could sweep the nation if he makes the team in a battle with Greg Horn. Rush, and it's blocked. And the Dolphins run it in.
Louis Oliver blocked it. J.B. Brown scores the touchdown. Louis Oliver right up the middle of the punt. It appeared he came almost untouched.
And that is J.B. Brown, a rookie from Maryland, a 12th round draft pick, and Tootin not a happy guy as the Dolphins cut into that lead with 4:48 remaining in this 4th quarter.
All right, Marv, you can see on the replay here, after the extra point, we'll give you a shot.
The attempt by Stoyanovich. And he has trimmed the lead down to 7.
This is the spot where it happens. It looks like 2 guys consume 1 blocker. Oliver comes right through the middle, and he's the one who makes the block on the punt. He comes from the outside. Good job. Really dekes the up back. Brown picks it up, takes it in for a touchdown. And the snap was low. The Tootin gets it up. Here's Oliver making the block. Well, that's certainly a plus, but you don't win games counting on blocking punts in the NFL. J.B. Brown won't forget that one. Say hi, Mom. There's Louis Oliver.
And there is an unhappy Richard Tootin.
Bootin' Tootin. Yes, sir. Blocked Bootin' Tootin.
And his competition, 3-year man from Arkansas, Greg Horn.
I'm not sure you can blame that on Tootin, though. That snap was a little low, and the punt block team up front didn't do its job in front of Bootin' Tootin.
has kind of a ring to it, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Kind of hard to find one for Stoyanovich, you know. So boot and toot, and
Work on
fun.
it.
Yeah.
Stoyanovich with the kick. And here's Joe Howard. Across the 20 and has some daylight. Joe Howard going all the way. Went 94 yards on the kickoff return. He is battling to make the team. Picked up on waivers from Buffalo last week. He's a local product. And the Redskins now extend it as Lohmiller puts it home. They extend to 35-21, and the crowd celebrates.
Hail to the Redskins. Job up front. Joe Howard, I don't believe, is touched by anybody. He gets right through. Yeah, he is touched by one guy, but Stoyanovich, number 3, he's the last guy to make the tackle. Joe Howard puts a move on him. 94 yards and a touchdown.
Joe Howard played football and basketball for the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, and we have seen 3 touchdowns within 2 minutes and 27 seconds. One on a blocked punt. And Mark Logan will stay in the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20. Here's Howard from yet another angle.
Let's see who gets their hand on him here. Misses the tackle. It's Clark, the starting linebacker. And Stoyanovich tries to make the tackle and bends his leg punt. He gets up all right. He's fine, but you hope that kicker can at least slow him down. He didn't.
Bob, Mr. Stats, our crack statistician Elliot Cowles supplies us with the information that the last time, at least regular season, a kickoff was returned for a touchdown by the Redskins was September of 1978. Tony Green did it against the Cardinals. He went 99 yards. Scott Secules has come in at the quarterback and connected with the tight end Farrell Edmonds for a 17-yard pickup. Secules in his second year out of Virginia. Acquired from Dallas 3 weeks ago, and during preseason 15 for 29, has a touchdown, has not been intercepted.
Recommended by David Shula.
Secules to throw again, and the catch by Andre Brown. So the Dolphins now inside the Redskin 35-yard line. A.J. Johnson on the stop of Brown. 28-yard pickup.
I think Secules was available because of Walsh, #1 pick in the supplemental draft, and Troy Aikman. They got about $40 million in quarterbacks over there. Yeah. So I think David Shula realized this kid had no chance. This kid has an outstanding arm.
Running, we're down to 3:20 remaining, fourth quarter. Dolphins trailing 35-21. This game is opened up off the draw. Mark Logan to the 32-yard line. Clarence Vaughn on the tackle. On the subject of David Shula last year, when he's with the Dolphins, a target of much criticism. Was it unfair criticism or justified?
I thought it was. No, I thought it was very, very unfair. David Shula was calling the plays. He was elevated to assistant head coach. Don Shula made the point, hey, when we were winning, David Shula was no problem. I thought it was very convenient for David Shula to go to Dallas to at least alleviate that bit of friction if there was any. But I thought he was very, very unfairly criticized.
Catch made by Brian Kitchen, backup tight end out of LSU. Vaughn forced him out. First down for Miami. Dan Marino also involved in that controversy. Reports that he and David Shula were not seeing eye to eye.
But I think the offensive coordinator, the play caller of a team who is struggling in a season, you try to get too much done. And I don't know that that was David Shula's fault.
And Sequel's able to complete to DeVal Glover. I mentioned the good hands and did a nice job in hanging on. And DeVal Glover certainly contending for a spot on the roster. Mayhew made the stop.
He's caught the ball over his shoulder. He's run good patterns. And he's also caught the ball well in the crowd. 5 catches for 70 yards. A good night. He's going to leave a good impression on Don Shula for this next cut.
Sequel's leaving a good impression. He's 4 for 4. And Braun succeeding for Logan. And another Miami first down. And things looking better for the Dolphins here in the fourth quarter. But they are going up against second and third team players for the Redskins. We're down to 2 minutes to go in the fourth.
Metabolic functions, check. Respiration systems on. Okay, CJ, talk to me. What do you really feel?
It's just smooth out here. Let's shake it up a bit.
Try section 36. Section 36. Roger that. Accelerating.
Showtime. This is what sets every Mazda apart. It's called Kansei engineering. Engineering based on human feelings.
Keep an eye on his pulse, please. I think I'm in hot. We monitor that, CJ.
With it, Mazda can actually learn how to create cars that feel just right.
Hey, Steve. You tell me, how am I doing?
All 78, respiration stable.
You see, at Mazda, we believe that performing right is an admirable beginning, but feeling right is what driving is really all about. Come feel Kansei engineering.
Wow.
It just feels right.
Life's full of simple pleasures, like the comfort of Levi's jeans. Or had you forgotten?
Buddy McGirt, one of the best fighters pound for pound in boxing today. He's a big puncher with a no-frills, high-pressure fighting style. His best is yet to come, and he's ready to take on the welterweight division. McGirt battles Gary Kid Jacobs live on NBC Sports World.
Well, Joe Gibbs was not pleased with that loss Monday night in Minnesota. Short week for the Redskins. There was apprehension on the part of the players that Gibbs would conduct 2 practices yesterday in their final day at their Carlisle, Pennsylvania training camp, but the Redskins had only 1 practice and broke camp. And they were delighted with that particular piece of news. All right, first and goal.
No flags. Contact all over the place.
Pass was intended for Glover.
And you see what the Marino's saying? Throw it strong side, strong side. He threw it to the wrong side. Now, see, he locked into a receiver here. And he threw it to the wrong side. Marino was saying, throw it strong side. We may see the same play. Andre Brown may get the ball. He's near side of the field.
And a second and goal. 4 minute 57 in the fourth quarter, and the Redskins lead at 35-21. Sequel's popping one in, and it's broken up. Martin Mayhew got a piece of it intended for DeVal Glover.
Here's Mayhew and Glover. Good job here by Mayhew. Just makes enough contact that it's legal. And he gets away with it. A lot of contact in the end zone, but that's allowed nowadays in the NFL.
If the Redskins hold on and defeat the Dolphins, this would be the first time since back in 1969 that the Dolphins lost their first 3 exhibition games. Timeout called by the Dolphins. With the timeout, we'll take a break. Back at RFK after these words.
Can't stand this heat. Do you have something cold? Like a beer?
The clean, fresh taste of Bud Light for those who don't take their light beer lightly.
Sorry.
For every man who wears Brute, there's a woman who loves what he smells like. Because there's something about Brute that's nice to be close to.
Honey, I was just thinking about you.
Brute, it smells like a man.
American Airlines to Europe, with service to 13 wonderful cities.
Next Friday, the Super Bowl champion San Francisco 49ers battle the hard-nosed Seattle Seahawks.
NBC football. It's a whole new ball game.
Marv Albert with Bob Trumpy back at RFK with 1:53 remaining in the fourth quarter. And later tonight, following your local news, a triple header here on NBC of late night entertainment, starting with the best of Carson. And then pitcher Joe Niekro, a former pitcher, Joe Niekro, will join Dave on late night with David Letterman, along with some really stupid Patrick spot. And then John Larroquette, Sheena Easton, and Little Richard will host Friday Night Videos. That is later tonight right here on NBC.
I'm going to stay up.
Some really stupid.
Really stupid. That's over and above stupid pet tricks.
Something I will want to watch, I'm sure. Redskins 35 and the Dolphins 21. Scott Sequels came out early in this fourth quarter, has done a nice job following Stout and Marino. It is a 3rd and goal at the 4. And it is Sequels fumbling. And look to be recovered.
That's a touchback
by the Redskins. Yes, Mark Duckins on the recovery. And an obvious costly giveaway by the Dolphins.
Design play, in case you're wondering. That's a quarterback draw all the way. I think Sequels got a little anxious. If he'd have let it set up a little better, I think he might have been in there almost untouched. Don Shula talking to Sequels on the sideline. Now you can see that this is a design play, but you got to wait a little bit to get it set up. He's trying to avoid the blitz. He breaks the tackle of Wilburn, and it's knocked out of his hands, and Duckins recovers it.
Mark Duckins, first-year player from Arizona State, and the Redskins take over at the 20-yard line. Bill Kenny at quarterback. Joe Mickles reaching out to the 25-yard line. He's been averaging better than 4 yards per carry. Has looked very impressive.
Here's Barry Wilburn, the safety on the blitz. He almost gets Sequels. Sequels with good leg strength gets away from him. But he coughs up the football and touchback for Redskins. They get the ball back. Clock continues to run.
Down a minute and 10. Second down and 5. At the 25. Redskins 35. Dolphins 21. Long count by Kenny. 30-second clock is down to 2. And it is Mickles. So Mickles out to the 29-yard line with 45 seconds remaining.
Two big guys tonight that got the job done. I think Miami goes back to South Florida shaking their head. They were really hoping that they would get a better performance out of both offense and defense tonight.
We'd like to thank our producer, John Francis, director, John Gonzalez, Mr. Stats, Elliot Cal, handling the statistics, Rob Cohn, John Autry, our spotters, as the Redskins just work the clock down. Final seconds, the Washington Redskins make it a record of 3-1 in preseason, bouncing back from the loss Monday to the Minnesota Vikings. Miami Dolphins continue to struggle. 0-3 defeats at the hands of the Bears, the Oilers, and now the Redskins. So Don Shula and Joe Gibbs exchange pleasantries as they head back to their respective locker room. The Redskins do it over the Dolphins by the score of 35-21. And it's time for the Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser. And our Most Valuable Player, Washington quarterback Mark Rypien. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of tonight's MVP, and Rypien got it going for the Redskins in the first half. 13 for 16, 117 yards, 1 touchdown to Ernest Biner, who had a strong night, and 1 interception. Then Stan Humphries came out and also did a good job.
I must commend Joe Gibbs, and he certainly doesn't need my recommendation, but after Rypien throws the interception, comes back the next series, throws that little hitch pass. It's completed by Rypien, and he goes on to have a great half. Is a big part in how that kid played tonight. And I'm sure the Redskins fans, players, coaches feel very confident with Mark Rypien at quarterback opening the season.
Marino went 11 for 20, 126 yards. Dolphins tried to establish a running game and did not. Stout was 8 for 15, 95 yards. Joe Gibbs has to be delighted with the rushing attack of his club. 37 carries, 183 yards. That comes out to almost 5 yards per carry, while the Miami defensive unit continues to have its problems.
Yeah, we documented that Tom Olivadotti wants 3.9 yards per carry and 5 yards per carry tonight. Just basically put Washington in control of this football game, and again put Miami in a situation where they had to start throwing the ball.
And once again, for the Dolphins, I would think the pressure will continue this week, at least in the media, concerning the unsigned players and the holdouts. I know you made the point that even with John Offerdahl, this defense may not improve dramatically, but I think it certainly would help.
Yes, it would. There's no question about that, but they need something to pick their spirits up.
So the Redskins over the Dolphins, 35-21. Marv Albert with Bob Trumpy saying so long from RFK. Remember to stay tuned for your late local news, followed by the best of Carson, late night with David Letterman, and Friday night videos. Then be sure to be with us tomorrow when the Orioles take on the Yankees, or some of you will see Milwaukee and Toronto as that American League East pennant race heats up. Sunday on Sports World, former world champion Buddy McGirt moves up to welterweight, taking on British Commonwealth champ Gary Jacobs, and we'll bring you up to date on all the important news around the National Football League. So a big weekend of sports here on NBC. Again, the final here in Washington. Redskins 35, the Dolphins 21. So long, everybody.